Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Broke on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nickies. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Rich. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today's hour is going to be absolutely insane, guys, because we got Bitcoin sitting at 109,971, and we truly believe that Bitcoin is about to see a huge rally, guys, up to that 112 all-time high, guys. We are barely 1 or 2% away from an all-time high Bitcoin. We are right on the cusp of something truly beautiful, and that's potentially an alt season. And that's kind of what we're thinking here. We need Ethereum to kind of move it, and it is. Ethereum's green while Bitcoin's a little bit red. I mean, barely red, honestly. But we need Ethereum to kind of take the reins here. Well, what that's going to do, it's going to have that trickle-down effect, right? So it normally every bull run starts with Bitcoin. Money flows into Ethereum. That money flows into the large caps, alts, the Cardanos, the ADA, the DOTS, XRP. Then that money flows down. We need it to flow all the way down to get our runes back, but we just need a little drop of that supply of money that's just sitting in the M2, and we are going to absolutely explode, and it's going to be huge. The question is, though, is the winner in the Bitcoin ecosystem, is it going to be runes or is it going to be Alkanes? You guys know how I feel. I think Dog's going to go to the moon and take runes with it. But you have to start looking at Alkanes. You have to start looking at the smart contracts and the WebAssembly that they're doing over there. It's actually pretty amazing. Like the amazing Halfbanger was showing me kind of some stuff of what it can do. I was blown away. But Runes just has that community, right? It has that community. It has that it factor that you're not seeing. You're not seeing any coin. I mean, I love what Bunzi and Halfbanger done, but you're not seeing any coin win over there yet. Any truly big winners, and that's what you're seeing from Dog and Rune. So it's a great conversation to have. But if you are a part of the Rune community, I want you guys to throw that in the chat. If you're a part of the Alkanes community, I'll throw that in the chat as well. I want to see at the end of the show which community is actually here to support their bags. So, but without further ado, let's get the show started. Bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
Doing great. I can't complain when we're ranging between 105 to we're at 110 now, possibly knocking on the door 111, but won't be surprised.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. I'm happy because I kind of feel like I have a pretty clear picture of what's happening right now in terms of like this ranging back and forth until we're ready to take that next leg up, right? I'm gonna feel happy until M2 global money supply breaks or it ends, right? One of those two situations, and because that's been such a good leading indicator, I might be happy when it ends a little bit if I play it correctly. You know, I could play the pullback before the big leg up in Q4. So I'm fine. I'm feeling really good. I feel like different parts of the overall broader crypto ecosystem starting to heat up a little bit. Our space that I say our space because we've been covering it since 2023, but you know, the Bitcoin ecosystem seems to be like having like injections of energy, whether it's from the Runes community and the dog army, which is absolutely nuts. You guys are crazy, or the Alkanes community that's starting to grow aggressively now as well, right? So I feel good. What's there to not feel good about?
Yeah, 100%, man. You know, with everything how it's going, we do have another potential catalyst tomorrow with PPI. Today we had CPI. We're gonna get into that a little later, but yeah, I'm feeling good too, man. I'm feeling like we could really explode here. But let's jump into today's main topic before we get into that stuff. Bitcoin Battle Royale, Runes versus Alkanes, winner takes all. So first, before we get into the Runes part of it, let's jump into the Alkanes part because a lot of people are probably sitting here like Alkanes, like what are you guys even talking about? Why are you even talking about them? But they've actually had a lot of innovation over the last week or so. So let's jump right into that. So they had a tweet. Alkanes introducing AP69, two-way swap between fungible and non-fungible tokens. So this is basically a breakdown of the tweet. AP69 lets you swap Alkane Panda NFTs for 100,000 bamboo and back on Bitcoin, bringing fungible and non-fungible tokens, no extra fees, just pure innovation and instant on-chain swap. So this is decentralized on-chain swaps. You can actually take your Panda, which is an Alkane NFT, and basically swap it for 100,000 bamboo. And then if you want to get that same Panda back, you take that 100,000 bamboo and basically lock that back up and actually get your Panda back. So this is actually pretty awesome in the sense of innovation, decentralization, everything, right? This is a smart contract running on Bitcoin. Absolutely awesome. But they didn't stop there. So basically, swap your Panda 100,000 bamboo using alkane.dev. Every swap is secure, LIFO based, and sets the stage for native Bitcoin AMMs and future NFT fungible tokens. So then they introduced Bamboo Roll, the first game of chance smart contract on Bitcoin. So basically, it's Satoshi Dice 2.0. That's what this is. Bamboo Roll is the first ever game of chance smart contract on Bitcoin. Send 1 to 100,000 bamboo to the forest. There's a 45% shot to double your tokens, but a 55% chance they get lost forever. So basically, in deflation. Lost bamboo goes into a contract pool, which no one can withdraw from, slowly reducing the supply. To play, use alkane.dev, connect your wallet, and follow the prompt. So let's go back to the beginning here. So basically, you take your Panda, you convert that to bamboo. You take your bamboo, and if you lose any of that bamboo, you're not only deflating the supply of bamboo, but you're also deflating the supply of the pandas. Because if you don't have 100,000 bamboo, you can never get that panda.
Yeah.
So
So this is pretty cool, and this shows a sneak peek. Not a sneak peek. This straight up shows you what Alkanes can do from a computation logic level, right? So this is
yeah,
why developers like Hathbanger, which is he's talented. He's very versatile. Takes his time with issues, works them out. That's why people like him gets excited about this because this is something that people have been wanting for a long time, and this is very similar, in my opinion, to the approach that Cardano uses, not language-wise, but in terms of smart contracts, using some off-chain computation, but then, finalizing transactions on Cardano. Bitcoin can now do that with Alkanes, right? So bringing Satoshi Dice kind of 2.0 back into the mix is that's pretty cool. It's kind of like
yeah,
reviving the rare Pepes or some of those OG kind of things that happened before. But I like this. So here's where I think things get interesting because you're going to have a lot of Runes community people that they're fighting for their bags. They're uniting. The dog army's crazy. You got the $1 billion cat community that's crazy. You got some strong communities there, and they're saying, well, Runes is already having a ton of infrastructure building out for it, which is absolutely true, by the way. But that doesn't mean that Alkanes can't have success. And actually, if you look at the runes ecosystem, it's about 95% meme and maybe 5% or less utility projects. On the other end, right, like Alkanes, people are using this right out the gate for utility because we haven't had this kind of computation smart contract capability. Even if the indexer's off chain, that's okay. Cardano does that. Like, you can have DeFi that way. But so that's where I think both can kind of have their position here. One's more known for utility, one's more known for community building and meme building and having the power of uniting together. And so that's where we're going to see if maybe two can kind of coexist. I don't know. What do you think about that theory?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I 100% agree with you. Which one's going to win? I don't know. You got community versus innovation, right? And you're seeing ICP lower than Doge, right? Which again is community versus innovation. So to say one is better than the other, I mean, it's impossible. We're going to have to sit back and watch. We're going to have to sit back. But to kind of go into the runes a little bit, you have the CEO of Kraken coming out and basically saying today, he said a lot of stuff, but the main thing I took away was he said, "Dog, who are you guys?" So he's trying to basically get an introduction into the dog community, and everyone's in here kind of telling him like, about themselves and stuff. But look at this. This is the thing why runes could win in the sense of, look at this, 1.3 thousand hearts, 627 reposts, and 707 comments. Yeah, repost. And then 707 comments, right? This is a lot. This guy he doesn't see this kind of he doesn't see this stuff, right? Maybe the Kraken account does, but not him personally. So he's seeing this and he's like, if this is Doge 2.0, like this is the next. I don't know how you can not see that this is the next Doge.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of conversation even on our show talking about, Fartcoin seems to be that Doge of the cycle. Well, not too fast. Yes, it's been pretty resilient as our leading indicator of crypto bubbles, that's for sure. But in terms of social being viral from a social perspective, nothing can compete with Doug right now, right? In the CEO of Kraken seeing that, and it's funny because I'm envisioning like someone from their marketing team saying, "Try it." Try to engage with the dog community, see what happens. And then he gets his most engagement tweet, right? And so it's being proven to him and his team over and over again, and I think over social media as well. So for me, it's a matter of time when they really kind of open the floodgates there, right? Now, could there be a world that Alkanes and the developers over there, the projects over there, try to work with the Runes protocol? First of all, from a technical perspective, it's possible. We've had conversations with other people. The only difference would be, would the Runes protocol have to be adjusted to kind of allow MEV? And I think if that's the case, then you could actually kind of build this backwards a little bit, kind of have runes integrated into these smart contracts as well. And I think actually because the way they built it, I think even without like adding MEV, you could do one-off things possibly, like to have like some logic rolled into them. But AMM, I think that's where the problem would be without adding the capability of MEV to the Runes protocol. So that's what I'm not a developer, so don't kill me if I got that incorrect, because I did have someone kill me actually last week over something about this, but all good. We got that cleared up. And the biggest thing is, if that's possible, and there's a possibility of uniting these two to where they can coexist and work together in a synergetic way, that would be, in my opinion, the best possible situation. Do you think that would be good, or do you think keeping them separate and kind of having their own paths of success would be better? What do you think?
Yeah, I think keeping them separate would kind of be best, but think of this. So if you're able to take the panda and lock that up and get a bamboo on the other side, right? Why couldn't you take your dog rune, and lock that up and get a dog Alkane on the other side? And then when you want your dog rune back, you can do the exact same thing, right? So in my opinion, it's gonna be up to the user. If you want to take your dog and over to a smart contract platform, you might take on some risk by doing that, right? But if not, if you just want to hold your dog as a rune, that's up to you. So it's kind of like wrapping your Bitcoin in a sense, but you're kind of wrapping your dog to play in the smart contract area, but it's all decentralized. Pretty much the same way, you're seeing some of these other decentralized, wrapped Bitcoin versions, right? You're kind of seeing in that sense. So, and I don't know. I think this is awesome. I do love the innovation, but I also hope this wakes Casey up. I hope this gets Casey seeing what Alkanes is doing, and it's just like, I can add this. Casey can add this. Raph can add this tomorrow. They really could. I mean, all Alkanes is runes, and you add in, the WASM and stuff like that, and all the code's open source. Casey could add this.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens, right? There's a lot of people in the camp that thinks that he won't. We know that he's very kind of stuck in his way of thinking. And I think it's more to do with just kind of going back to it's my baby. I don't want anybody to mess with it. I get to say what happens to it.
Hold on. Ordinals is his baby. Runes is his stepchild. Runes is like, all right, I gotta bring this kid on with
redheaded.
me.
Redheaded. No, just kidding.
So if he wants to advance the step, Ordinals will always be Casey's baby. Runes is just something like, all right, I gotta fix the mistake I made because the BRC20s destroyed everything that I love. So I'll just create this rune thing, and they can just play in that area. They can play in the UTX. They can play in the that stop with the inscriptions. Go play in the UTXOs. I think that's how he felt, right? So, but yeah, I do think that Casey will add a function. If not, then we can just basically do what they're doing with the Panda. Wrap our decentralized wrapping of our dog and using our dog over on the Alkanes platform, and that's up to each user to do it.
But how would they be able to adjust the synthetic version supply and stuff?
Well, that's like calling bamboo the bamboo token synthetic. Technically, it's not. You have to wrap your Panda and then you get that token.
Well, Panda, but the Panda is native to Alkanes.
Yeah, but you're still you're still locking it, so it's the same thing, right? So, it's the contract itself. You're locking, that index dog. So I don't think that part's the problem. I don't think that there's no innovation with locking, right? I think the innovation is unlocking and getting a replacement token for that. That thing, seeing the dog enter the wallet and be like, okay, now since this dog's here, let's grab. Now you got that wrap dog on the Alkanes side.
And you'd have to have enough participants, obviously, to where you can have liquidity pool and all that stuff, and get the
Alkanes they said they already have one. I mean, Halfbanger basically told me that that team over there, they're building an AMM. So
yeah, we'll see, man. We got someone from the Runes community. Bongo says, "Yo, what's up, Bongo? Thanks for joining the show in the chat today."
Yeah, I would love to know Bongo's opinion on Alkanes. Somebody who's really
well, we know what his opinion is on pandas. He didn't like the art because I saw that on the crypto Twitter.
Did he really? Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it was because the art is so kind of it reminded me of the DMT kind of lines were so clear and all that stuff.
Yeah. It makes sense. Crypto Slow is here. He says just like 404. Personally, converting back and forth creates liquidity fragmentation. But you can say that same thing about sending dog to Odin, right? You can say the same thing about sending dog to Solana. So it doesn't matter. The more liquidity pools, the better. I guess Leo says, right? The more buying opportunities, the better. If you want
zoom out.
I mean, you got to remember, you're gonna have that here because of dot swap and runes deck. So you're already having that. It's not like it all gets aggregated together anyway. Right, so if there's a little Billy here and a little Billy there, I mean, you're going to go to the place with the best price. So,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man. All right, so we'll finish this off with I'm going to ask you the question: who wins this battle?
I think that right now, if you were forcing me to answer this, I would say Runes, because Runes is set up everywhere. You're talking about multiple different ecosystems. Runeshot just launched with Near Protocol. You have the Arch guys about to unload a bunch of stuff for Runes. You got ICP with Odin.fun. You got Solana with Mind Labs, and then Kraken's kind of coming to wrap all that up in a bow. So I just think it's really hard to stop that momentum right now. But I will say, I'm forced to kind of make that decision right now, and I would pick that. But I'm saying, don't discount Alkanes, and don't discount possibly a future of synergy between the two protocols.
Yeah, 100%. And I forgot to add the Bob Bodley post to the news today, so I just added it. So we'll talk about that a little later.
Oh, what about you, though? I'm gonna put you on the pressure here.
Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna win?
I think dog wins regardless. I think dog can be put as an Alkane, and I think it will be eventually. I do love what they're building with Alkanes, but I do love the community. So it's hard for me because I'm seeing Doge bigger than ICP. I'm seeing Doge bigger than Solana, or no, bigger than some of the other blockchains like Sui and stuff like that. So it's hard. It's hard. Community versus utility. It's always going to be a battle. But I do think Runes wins, and I think Casey eventually wakes up. So I guess my answer depends on if Casey wakes up or not. and dresses
Well,
his steps out in good clothes.
if he does, then at that point both win, right? Because you're kind of having this
Well, I think Runes
synergetic.
wins. I don't think we need Alkanes at that point.
Oh, you think he just integrates what they have? Oh
Yeah.
man, that would be a snub.
Just copy and paste, baby.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
But he could kill Alkanes. He could destroy Alkanes.
Technically, yeah, he could.
So, but we'll see if Casey, do your thing, brother. All right, let's jump into the off-chain news here. So we did have some stuff, some headlines come out. So headline CPI came in at 2.4, slightly below the 2.5 estimate. So that's good, right? And just above the prior reading of 2.3. So this is absolutely what we wanted. We wanted it to come below expectations. The Fed wants rate inflation to be between 2.1 and 2.2. That's their goal. I think this is the new goal. I think this has to be the new goal. 2.2 to 2.4. I mean, we're living in a different world. You doubled the supply of money since 2020, basically, right? So there is no going back to the days of 1.9 to 2.1. That days are over. We're living in an area of 2.2 to 2.4. And you got to remember, in the 80s, it was like 0.7 to 1, right? Was the inflation. So it's this, it's normally okay to kind of go up. And I think Jerome Powell has to be okay with this. And I think it's time to cut rates. And the president of the United States also feels that way. He said, President Trump calls for Federal Reserve to cut interest rates by a full point. So we're not talking that 0.25. We're not talking 0.5. He's saying a whole point. And Vice President J.D. Vance came out right after Trump, and he said the Fed refusal to cut rates is a monetary malpractice. So what do you think about CPI in place? Okay, and the Vice President and the President coming out and saying, all right, Jerome, cut rates.
I'm impressed that the CPI has been able to stay within this range, right? The whole entire goal from the start was 2%, and a lot of people thought that was just so unrealistic, right? Initially, and we've gotten close. We got down to 2.3, but 2.4 ranging between 2.3 and 2.5 is actually good, especially for how much people are talking about the economy is like on fire. All this stuff is happening that like we're gonna have horrible numbers. Well, CPI seems to say not so fast. We're okay. We're okay in the fact that we're not shooting up, right? We're all these statements about the economy's on fire isn't necessarily. Yeah, I know it's delayed a little bit, but here's the deal. Getting pressure on Jerome Powell, I think is really important to get us kind of in this full on risk on environment. And I really hope he comes around. I'm not saying that because I'm saying that for my bags, obviously. But really, that's what the markets kind of need right now. They need that energy kind of liquidity injection. And for that to happen, we need to bring rates down. Look, I mentioned yesterday, the real estate market is kind of upside down right now, right? There's a lot more inventory than there are buyers. So that needs to be fixed.
That's the thing with Powell. Trump calls him too late Powell, because he's always too late. So it's time, let's not think about like how it is. Let's think about how it's going to be. And you have to be ready for that. And cutting rates is there. I actually think next week, I know Polymarket is saying I'm wrong, but I'm actually thinking we're going to get a quarter rate cut. And I think he does that because Jerome seems like a loyal person. And you got to remember, Trump appointed him originally. Trump put his trust in him. So we will see what happens, but definitely interesting to think about. But shout out to Bongo. He says, if Alkanes win, Runes win. If Runes win, it doesn't mean Alkanes win. All right, let's go. Hydro Sapien is here, my guy. Dude, I love this guy, man. He's commenting on all my stuff. I really appreciate it, man. Absolutely amazing. And Malam Yuri as well. We'll get into roll call a little later, but just want to shout you guys out for being in the comments right now. But let's move along here. The World Bank agrees with President Trump that countries use unfair practices and calls them to lower tariffs. So the World Bank basically coming here and saying, Trump is right. Trump is 100% right. Like, these tariffs are unfair trade and they need to be changed. So this is, this is good. This is really good for Trump here.
It is good for Trump, and for a lot of people, it kind of shows that he was right about that, right? The you know, the difference in the deficit of the trade deficit was real. And I think you know, we just allowed it to happen because I think a lot of people were able to line their pockets at the high levels in for both parties that were involved with the trade deals, right? And so now it's being like just really shown to the world. And those people were trying to really cover that up, you know, put a curtain in front of it and say, hey, no, it's not what you think it is. Well, the World Bank agrees and says, hey, no, actually it is what those numbers show. So we'll see if this is a positive, though, because I do want to move forward from all of this, you know, the media going back and forth with the administration, because for us, we're the ones that are like kind of get stuck in the middle of it all. We just want the market to either go or not go, not be kind of back and forth every week.
100%. And to your point, it does look like it's all wrapping up here because President Trump says the court ruled right after the World Bank came out the court ruled that U.S. can use tariffs to protect itself against other countries. You know, immediately after that, China and the U.S. agreed a principle and a framework for a new deal after 2 days of talks in London. So it looks like China and the U.S. are going to get a deal done. Trump tweeted it again this morning. And then U.S. and Mexico close to finalizing a trade deal as well. And then this is back to back here. India and the U.S. are expediting trade talks to reach a phased deal before Trump's reciprocal tariffs on Indian exports, take effect next month. So again, it's just you see the World Bank, you see the U.S. court system, then you're seeing China, Mexico, and India, and like, all right, let's get these deals done.
Let's get them done. Let's kind of get business going back to what it was, obviously with new deals, but this is good news. This is good news. Hopefully we can wrap this up. Hopefully it's not you know, now we're paused again and all this. Let's just get the deals done. Let's move forward and we can, you know, work on the next problem that we have over here. So
yeah, and you know, and people be like, oh, what does this have to do with crypto? What does this have to do with the runes? Well, you know, we've been in a 6-month bear market minimum. I think it was a year-long bear market. But like the last 6 months is because of tariffs. That T word, every single time we heard it, we've got hit in the face. Down only since Trump put tariffs in January. And you know, it's just we need this stuff to kind of get behind us. The markets are forward looking, and I think once these deals get done, we're good to go. We're in a phase of upward momentum, and we can get back to innovating and creating cool shit.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So CNBC says Bitcoin is primed for a surge to fresh all-time highs above 130,000. This is CNBC saying this. This is, you know how many normies watch this every single day? Dude, CNBC will sometimes put out something, like they'll talk about something, and that stock rises while they're talking about it because so many people are watching this damn channel.
I'm excited for this because this is what we've been kind of calling, right? We're saying, hey, look, yes, there might be this period where we range. You got to remember, market makers, they have a business, they have a job to do. The job is, even though the global M2 money supply is showing that we still have probably, you know, like 2 small leg up to go until we have a pullback. Right in between that, next pull up is going to be a little bit of range, and that's what we've experienced the past 2 weeks, right, or week and a half, and we might experience it for the rest of this week. But eventually, you and I are both in the camp that whether it's the last 2 weeks of June or the first 2 weeks of July, we're going to get to that 120 to 130, maybe even 135 range before we have that pullback, right? So we'll see what happens, but CNBC seems to be on the same page as us as well.
It seems like everyone is at this point, right? It seems like everyone is kind of seeing what's happening, and I mean, you know, and you can say maybe that everyone's looking at the same chart. Maybe everyone's looking at this chart right here. I know we show it every single day, but it's absolutely perfect, and we're about to see an upward momentum, guys. I think we're truly about to say everyone's saying it. I mean, look at this though. Look at this number, 130, right? It's right there. Like they're calling for this number to hit exactly where the chart is saying, bro. Like, I mean, and then with a pullback, so. They're saying pop up to 130 with a pullback to 120. I mean, this is exactly, and that's our new range for, let's just say a couple weeks, right? So I don't know, man. Or it just says screw that, we're dipping, but we're coming right back, and then we see upward momentum. This right here could be alt season, bro. This upward sideways momentum, like this is just so strong, and we could see this as when the runes and stuff start running. And that's only July, guys. It's not like this is September, October. This is July.
It feels like September, October, the way it looks right there. But you're right. If you look down at the actual, I would say it's probably August.
This is July, bro. This is July. Like, this is July.
I mean, if you look at the separations, are you talking about the end of that graph, though? Because
this
if you
is
look
July. This
no,
this is July.
yeah, because it doesn't show where August starts, but that you can tell from the previous separations that
August
like
starts right here. Like this is off the chart. Like we haven't even seen August yet. This is July.
that looks like a much bigger gap than the
No,
previous
it's
ones.
not. Look, that and then that. That right here is this right here is July.
If that's the case, then yeah, but you know, I feel like it's probably a little bit extended. But yeah,
I
you
mean,
know
what's the
what? It
difference?
does.
August 4th or July 28th? I mean, come on.
That's about the same. That's about the same. I'll say that's about the same. Yeah, I think you know, yeah, I think you're probably right there. I removed the chat there, but yeah, if you were to draw a line down there, it would hit that range. So, look, if that's the case, man, I think that the summer is going to be amazing. I do think that if once we do hit that 130, if we do get that kind of 1 week pullback, they're going to try to scare people. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be like,
Yeah.
you know, the people that are loading up on longs, you're going to have like a bunch of James Wins trying to come in, and they're going to liquidate some or hit some of these stop losses at least. And I think that can go down to like even like 115, 110 to scare them and then pull back up like swiftly. And if that's the case, man, like the rest of the summer could be gravy.
Yeah, and this is just traders taking profit, right? You have traders who've been long, they're going to take profit up here, and then they're going to see the dip down to 120 and say, oh, time to go long again. This is a trader's chart right here, right? If it wasn't for traders, we wouldn't have pullbacks, in my opinion. Like I don't if it wasn't for traders trading, I don't think we'd have pullbacks. If everyone was a long-term investor and you know only buying Bitcoin for the long term, then we would be straight up this entire time. But just my opinion right there. Let's move along here. So 60% of the Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain projects, Coinbase reports. 60% of the Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain projects. It's about to get insane. It's about to get absolutely insane. And then you have someone like Peter Thiel coming out and basically backed crypto exchange bullish, submits IPO filing with SEC, looking to capitalize on growing crypto investor and during the Trump presidency, right? So this is absolutely huge. You have, dude, 500 Fortune 500 companies building blockchain projects.
That's so crazy. Like 60% of that, which to me, not 400, right? That would be a little bit more than that's about 3 something.
This is about 300, yeah.
But still, I mean, this goes to show like exactly like the difference between two different administrations in terms of what the SEC kind of does, right? The effect it does, because Fortune 500 companies no way would even start to talk about like building in the Web3 space last cycle or last administration. And so this is a great sign because it's showing that institutions from a mainstream adoption is starting to happen. So this makes me really, really bullish.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. You ready to get into some bearish stuff?
Oh gosh.
Like,
not really.
You know what I'm about to talk about? If I said someone's bearish right now, who would you think I would say?
If someone's bearish, I would say it's Peter. No, not Peter. Is it someone that's more like native?
Someone I talk about a lot.
Oh, Colin?
Yeah, Colin talks crypto. Yep. No. My bad. Cowen. Benjamin Cowen. Yeah. So Benjamin Cowen says basically that he's actually calling a top for the cycle right here. So
already
show this chart here. Yeah, this is it here. So he's saying, remember, he's a Bitcoin maxi, right? So he's saying that every single time we had this line, which is he calls it the 200 simple moving average crosses the prior all-time high. And so every time it crosses the prior all-time high, it's top time. So wherever it is, cross tier, top, cross tier, top, cross tier, top. He's saying it's about to cross here. He's saying in about maybe another couple months here, if we, depending on upper momentum. But when it does cross, he's saying that's going to be a top. So he's actually calling a top at like 150, 160. What do you think?
I mean, it's hard to go against him. He's been pretty accurate for the most part, right? So
yeah.
But I feel like there's still some space up. I did look at this. He's talking about the golden cross is what he's talking about. I think.
No, this is something different. This is the golden cross is the 200 and the 500 crossing. This is something different. This is simple moving averaging, passing the all-time high of the previous cycle.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It could get to that $200,000 mark or a little bit less. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah.
He's been pretty accurate.
Yeah, but
So
look though, I mean, let's say Bitcoin does run up pretty high. It does look like this would hit in 2026, right? Like, so technically he could be right, and we could still be right? Because I mean, look at it, 25. It's pretty tight at the bottom here, 25 and 26, and then you could just pop right up.
yeah, I mean, it definitely could happen. But like, do you think he's going to be accurate here, or what? What do you think?
Like you said, it's hard to doubt somebody who's been as right as him, right? He was like the only person calling Bitcoin dominance, right? And speaking of that, it's kind of moving into right into that there. So he's actually has another chart here, and he says that Bitcoin dominance nearly reclaimed all of its losses from the Trump pump, right? So Bitcoin dominance seen a huge downward spiral, and then this is when the tariffs really went into effect here, and Trump started pushing them. You back up, it's past its all-time high now. It's back up at 64.77 as of last night. I'm not sure where it is right now, but again, he was the only person calling for 65% Bitcoin dominance. I mean, at the time Bitcoin was like 40 to 45, 50. Like now it's at 65, and he was calling for this the entire time. So it's hard to say he was wrong when he was. I mean, you're kind of seeing this right now, almost back at all. Well, a cycle high.
Well, if it does happen the way he's talking about with the cross before, then I think dominance has got to drop right at that point. And alts have to have their moment. I think at some point you got BlackRock that's like really just diving deep into Ethereum, and they're doing it quietly. They're not making announcements, but people, the on-chain sleuths and people that do the data research are the ones that are really calling it out. So, I mean, whether Bitcoin gets to a top around like 190, 180, whatever, I don't know. I still think that we get past 200K. But I think we see that dominance drop eventually, because it can't continually just go up. Like, I think he realizes that even, there's gonna be a certain point to where like it's gonna pull back.
And I think Benjamin's just stuck. So Benjamin did the same thing last cycle too. He was when May of 2021 hit, he had to back off. He completely changed his tune. He was like, "I'm wrong, guys. I'm wrong here."
I remember that.
You're gonna get your alt season, right? And we got it, and it didn't stop till November. And then so I think he needs to be wrong again. And I think he's going to be wrong here. I think you're going to see Bitcoin rip to numbers where we've never seen before. But you're going to see a lot of companies, just like you mentioned, BlackRock. The amount of Ethereum that has been staked reached a new all-time high of 34,824,598. So the last time we seen Ethereum really get staked was November of 2020, and that was gearing up for 3 years later. People were locking their Ethereum in there for the proof of stake, right? So they said, "Hey guys, we just passed this. This is a governance vote. It passed through. We're going to do staking. If you would like to lock up your Ethereum and support this proof of stake, go ahead." And you saw millions of ETH load up into the staking vault. And I want to say in 2023, August, it might have been 2022 August, that's when they flipped from proof of work to proof of stake officially, and then a lot of those ETH were able to be unlocked. But now you're seeing, for the first time ever, Ethereum just actually gets staked to, I mean, this is insane. The insane amount of staking that's happening right now. Everyone wants that 6%, and you're seeing institutional staking as well.
Yeah, so this is going to be the institutional alt market, right? You and I talked about the ETFs that are going to probably simultaneously drop, at least in the same time frame, right? And if that happens in the announcement in the middle of July, let's say that the actual ETFs start to roll out in August, September, October, whatever, that the institutions will kind of have their alt market, I think, during that period, but that's going to trickle over to retail. I truly think that, because then retail people that have bags in Solana and ETH and ADA or whatever, their bags are going to go up, right? Because it's just like what happened to Bitcoin, right? I think ETH's ETF kind of was a weird it was a weird reaction. Like ETH kind of popped whenever the money supply went up in Q4 of last year. It popped with everything else, but it stopped at the 4,000 mark, and then everything else pulled back. So I feel like ETH hasn't even really had its ETF moment. It hasn't. And so that's where it can all happen together. We'll see.
Yeah, ETH got smacked by tariffs, right? I mean, it was during the Trump's tariff push. So ETH never really even seen a a real big push yet. We haven't even seen it. Yeah, it hasn't benefited from the ETF whatsoever. But speaking of ETFs, so the SEC has asked the Solana ETF issuers to submit an amended S1 forms within a week. They said they want it in a week, potentially putting approval track for July. And I'm seeing July 15th, this date being pushed over and over and over. I think they're going on July 15th. I think they're going to pass 9 ETFs, some being Solana, some being Doge, some being Litecoin. I think we're going to see a massive amount of ETFs kind of get pushed, but I don't think it stops there. I think they're going to say, hey, in October 1st, or the beginning of Q4, where these can go live. But I think they're going to approve a whole bunch from July 15th to October and have them all go live kind of at the same time, which could be a massive up momentum, to your point, in Q4.
Yeah, and I think everybody will benefit from that, like I said before, right? The difference that we might see is, again, I brought this up previously, is last cycle you saw a lot of the mid and new micro caps really benefit from alt season.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that's going to happen this cycle. You'll have your majors hit the ETFs, and then that'll benefit retail users that have those bags. Then we're going to see how risky it gets. Now, if we're in a risk on environment, there's capital flowing, rates are cut, people are feeling great, they're buying houses, they're spending money, maybe those mid caps and those micros can get, but I just don't think we see the same thing we saw last cycle with that.
Yeah, I disagree. I think if Cardano gets an ETF, I see SNEC and I see their number one DEX ripping. There's tokens ripping. I see when Solana gets put on, I see their number one DEX ripping, their number one meme coin ripping.
Yeah, the main parts of it. But like, if you remember last cycle, there was like, it trickled down to like 4, 5, 6 levels to where you had like coins that had no business getting to $100 million getting there. I don't think we see that. SNEC is already established.
I think
SNEC is already established.
But SNEC's considered bottom of the risk curve. You know what I mean? You can call it established, but there's people looking at that thing like, nah, that's not. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, is that will hit because it's an established community.
But that's the
ones
thing.
Below that, I think you're going to have trouble. You get what I'm saying?
No, I disagree. I think when Dog rips, because Dog's going to rip it at some point, you're going to see Gizmo. You're going to see stuff like Bro Bear 2 million go to 100 million. No, you will 100%, because that's what happens. Like, everyone's chasing the next gain. No one's satisfied with their gains. They're like, all right, where can I take my house money now that I've made? Where can I put that to make more? The people are greedy, and that's going to trickle, and that's what causes the trickle down effect.
Yeah, that definitely hasn't changed over the since humans existed. Greed has always stayed the constant. That's for sure.
100%. 100%. And speaking of greed, let's kind of dig into the crypto fear and greed here. Let me grab this. All right. So last week we were at a 57. Yesterday we were at 64. A little higher than yesterday. Take that for what it's worth.
66.
You're a little bit too bullish there, but yeah, 65.
Okay.
You're right there. 65. So how do you feel? I don't know. I feel more bullish than this. I feel like we should be in the 70s.
Yeah, again, though, I think if you look at the time that it got released, right? That's what it's all about. And there was a big red candle. There was a big red candle followed by a small red candle. So people were just like, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And that's how they score it.
You want to gauge tomorrow? How do you feel about tomorrow?
Ooh. Let me see real quick on the 4-hour chart. I'll say we're probably going to be around 62 to 64, 65. I think we're not going to move too much.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel the same. Unfortunately. But all right. Let's kind of get into the Bitcoin price action and figure out exactly where we are. So Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura Finance. Artura, we had them on the show yesterday. There's an amazing trader community built within them as well. These guys, remember, they're core contributors, all contributing to trying to build something that they want to use on a daily basis, and that is a trading leverage platform on a Bitcoin L2. We don't really have any here. We have like maybe 1 or 2 that's not really used as much as we would like to see. But we're going to get to on 2 really big chains. They're building on Botonics, the Spider chain, and they're building on Hemi, who is backed by Binance. So we're really bullish on these 2 L2s, and potentially by using Artura Finance, you're going to be getting the ARA token as an airdrop as a thank you for being one of their early users. But not only that, you will also potentially be getting maybe the Hemi token airdrop for using Artura on Hemi. And then Botonics has an incentive program that we're hearing about. We don't know the details of it, but we know it's going to be very lucrative for people who use Artura.finance on Botonics. But check out Artura.finance.
Absolutely, guys. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action, if you could help us out on the YouTube side, smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, share the space for us, guys. We want to get as many people onboarded to our industry as possible. And on the abstract side, if you could do the same, we would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, so let's jump into some Bitcoin price action here, starting with the hour chart. Let me pull this up here. All right, let's take a look here. So it looks like possibly like a little bit of a diamond pattern maybe kind of forming here on the hour. We'll see if this kind of, typically this will break up. I think it's like 65% of the time. We'll see if that happens. If that happens, I'll be wrong about tomorrow's fear and greed score. But let's take a look at these indicators. I mean, the setup looks decent. The stochastics a little bit higher than I would like. If this was kind of further down here, I would really like to get in something like this right here. But you can see we're about to get to the overbought already. So that's what makes me a little uncertain of where I think we're possibly going to head. But you can see, man, we've been in sell pressure for a while with a little bit of buy pressure that, didn't last that much, right? So you can see it seems like on the MACD though that it does want to reverse and head up. Now, just because we're just now getting to overbought doesn't mean that we won't stay up here for a while, right? So that's something to really consider. Let's take a look at some of the support and resistance on the with the local data here. Going from let's squeeze it in a little bit more, maybe right here. All right, we are looking at data from 1 a.m. today. So the price point that we're at right now, we're at that 109,800. We are showing a lot of support here, guys. So the support has definitely come here in the last couple of hours. Well, I would say last like 7 hours actually. So it's a decent amount of time here. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty lopsided where we are. So this is really good. And even below that support is there. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little bit more bullish than I originally did. You could see the supports there. Even over here where it's starting to weaken a little bit, the support's got the advantage all the way, man. Look. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and change my perspective here. Honestly, I feel like maybe now I feel a little bit more bullish. Maybe we actually kind of get above, 110, maybe. Try knock on the door. Yeah. I mean, look, we're at 109,800, so it wouldn't be that much of a reach to get back above 110. But, maybe I wouldn't be shocked if maybe we get back to 111, right? The reason why I'm saying that is just because the dominance that I'm seeing here. There's a lot of dominance in the support and resistance here on the VRVP. So we'll see. So these areas right here that are shorter, there's not as much volume though. So it can kind of go either way depending on if there's some large sell bids or buy bids that come in, right? So, but right here, I mean, we have a fortress on the support side. You can see right here, right here, right here. It's the support is strong, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if we do kind of knock on 111. We'll see. So that's what I'm seeing here on the hour chart. Guys, let's check out the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart is what got me a little bit kind of thinking different. You see that the buy pressure is exhausted, right? But again, if we do get that, knocking on 111, then this will open back up possibly with another green candle, kind of see how the rest of today plays out. The 4-hour played out kind of how I said it would if on Monday, the 1 hour kind of came back up, and it did. It gave us a pretty decent past 2 days if you think about it. Like, the second half of Monday, Tuesday, and leading up to today, right? So we'll see if this buy pressure can continue on the 4-hour. It has been in buy pressure for a long time, and it seems like it's exhausted a bit. But like I said, that 1 hour can kind of reverse it for a little bit. So maybe we get another day of bullishness. Maybe we get to 111 and then pull back maybe for Thursday and Friday. We'll see. But that is what I'm seeing here on the 4-hour. Let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly looks good, guys. Weekly looks good. It's opened back up here. You can see possibly another leg starting here. You can see the MACD looks strong again. We had that exhaustion right here last week, but we seem to have picked it back up. I think we're going to stay up here for a minute, especially, getting to that 120 to 130,000. We kind of have to, right? So I think the weekly chart looks really good in my opinion. The setup looks good still. This is opening up, and typically when this happens, that means there's a continuation of the direction that we're heading in, right? So I think that that next leg probably starts here next week, or at least by the end of next week or the start of the week after. So that's what I'm thinking. The weekly chart looks great for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the others. The others looks actually pretty good too. Others is everything besides Bitcoin in the top 10. You can see we're starting to build up some momentum here on the MACD as well for the weekly chart. This candle looks pretty strong. That's forming here, right? Ethereum's been looking pretty strong, right? So do we have this kind of going up with Bitcoin to that 120, 130? Bitcoin decides to turn around, Ethereum continues the momentum, we get a little alt market push. That would be amazing, right? But you can see that the others is starting to follow kind of Bitcoin, but also more Ethereum, because I said that Ethereum, you brought it up. Ethereum got to 2,800. It's showing some strength here. Now the others chart is showing some strength as well. So I love that. So looking good there on the others chart as well. Let's take a look at the crypto bubbles. Looks great. Crypto bubbles look really great. Let's check out Farcoin up 12%. Tomorrow is going to be bullish. Sell the house, mortgage the house, put it all on Farc. I'm kidding. But hey, look, this is the indicator. This is the indicator of the cycle.
How do you sell it to your wife? How do you do that? Hey, listen, there's a coin called Farcoin. I know it sounds dumb, but I think we should mortgage the house and put 200K on Farcoin.
Okay. The mortgage part, probably not going to be able to do that. But
how else do you go on, right?
No. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I could like sell that to her regardless. Farcoin or what? But my point that I'm making is that she's been, been a part of my crypto journey for a long time, so she gets how kind of crazy and I guess immature our space can sound at times, right? So she's used to it. She wouldn't be too shocked to hear Farcoin. But taking a look at some of these notable tokens here, you can see Hyperliquid is up 8.7%. Doge is up 6.3%. The infamous Farcoin up 12%. So this is a good indicator for tomorrow. We'll see SPX up 13.6%. Some momentum has been building back up for sure for SPX. You see Cardano up 4.2%. Pith is in the top 100. Let's go. Let's see. Pith is up 3%. Susie and I have been talking about Pith because Chainlink has been losing a little bit of market share, guys. Pith is that competitor to Chainlink, right? It's an oracle trying to say, hey, look, if Chainlink is charging you guys too much, then we have pretty much the same product, if not better. That's their pitch to everybody, right? And so they've been getting a lot of that market share. I think there's another one or two that are competing for that. So, make sure you guys are paying attention to projects like Pith. That's an oracle and trying to really make their way, be in those top 3 to 5 contenders in the oracle market there. Then you got MakerDAO up 3%, Sheeb up 4.5%, Flocky up 6.8%. So the memes on Ethereum look like they're bouncing back. AVAX up 3.1. So it's a good mixture of meme and utility that's just looking like it's starting to thrive. ICP for our ICP people here up 2% there. Let's take a look at the top 100 through 200 here. So you see StarkNet up 3.5. So utility. Pulse Chain up 16%. Wow. Hex up 14.4%. I guess Richard Hart.
This is what I'm talking about when I say bottom of the barrel, right? I mean, you're seeing these guys float up, right? So
Yep. You got Layer Zero here up 7.3%. Where's our dog up 1.5%? Need to see a little, need to see a little bit of more strength there, guys. You see, I guess Algorand, is that Algorand? Up 1.8%. ZBCN, our guy Courtney Johnson, right?
Up he's the CEO over there, right?
4.5%. Yeah, he would always be like, make sure y'all take a look at this. Peanut, our guy Peanut up 2.5%. Yeah. Popcat up 4.8%, Mog up 11.5%. But yeah, I expect to see some runes here in the next 3 months to join in the top 200. We'll see. That's a pretty big statement, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Great job on that. Let's take it over to the roll call and see who is here today on this show. If you don't know, first is first here. And the first comment of the YouTube right now, we got my man Lackey Loogie with your 24th win of the year. Congratulations to you, my friend. You have now tied Danny for first place. What do we do in a sense of a tie, bro? I didn't even think about that. We do one more show and see who gets it on the first. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, so right
Yeah.
now we see Lucky Lukey at 24. We got Danny Boy at, where's Danny Boy's last one? 24. So Danny hasn't won since May 30th, but he had his 24th win. Lucky Lukey just got his 24th. So shout out to you guys, man. This is 23rd win, and then that's 24th. Webdro, ASAP Benji yesterday. So yeah, so this is a race that I want to see. Imagine if Webdro wins the next 2 days and he's at 24 as well. That'd be pretty wild.
Well, I mean,
wild, so.
let's worry about that as we get closer.
Yeah. I just thought about it because I didn't have a plan for it, right? So maybe we'll do a head-to-head. Maybe we'll do trivia. We'll have them both on and do like a trivia thing.
Oh man, we got to do something that's going to be like, I feel like pretty clear rules and fair because they got through the whole journey, and so we want to make sure that whatever that tiebreaker is.
What are we gonna do, right?
Well, we got to do something fair, but that's why we said that we'll have prizes for second and third stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll have to make the second place prize pretty big if it's going to be anywhere near a tie, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get 2 frogs. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. But Lucky Lukey's here. So Team Runes. ASAP Benji's here. He says, there he goes. Then we have Matt says, send it. Danny Boy, he says, damn. You missed it. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo. He loves me and I love. Shout out to you guys. There's a lot of Billy Cats in our chat, bro, every day.
There sure is. I love them.
I'm getting kind of bullish on these damn Billy Cats again, bro. But yeah, a lot of them. Lucky Lukey leading the charge. ASAP Benji, another Billy Cat. Lucky Lukey is not giving up on this one. Reaper is out for a nap as usual. Well done. Yes, sir. Webdro says Lucky Lukey. Yup. And then 1+ ad is here. He says, tears in my eyes. Love, no fart. All right, this dude farted himself into tears. I don't even know how to respond to that. Choda is here. He says, want to see 130K by the end of this month? I think we do. We got 19 days left in this month. There's a lot of time going on here, man. 100%. And then we have Bitcoin is Truth is here. Abstract says ABS airdrop is going to be huge. Don't fade. Are you fading the ABS airdrop? Right?
Not at all, man. I think that's gonna they said it's gonna launch at like $4 or $5 billion market cap. So
let me get some of that, man. Satoshi Nakamoto is here. Kane99 is here. Spindrift says Shizzy and Yagobi making my day better. Thank you so much for being here, man. Vader Time says it's blast off time, followed by no. He's here today. Shout out to No with his Nuki. Shout out to the Nukies. Hydro Sapien says, let's go. Doll, go to the moon. Red Rocket, countdown, lift off. Red Rocket. Shout out to you, my friend. He says, OnChain Revolution is king. Yes, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate you, my awesome. Or Doucher is here. Shout out to our guy. He said, first. Hey, first on X. Yeah, 100%, man. Vic Abat is here. Shout out to Vic with a dog. Chief Axel's here with a dog and a wizard. Shout out to you, my friend. Hydro Sapien says right on time. Billy Badass. Yes, sir. Vic is a big thank you for making roll call today, man. I appreciate you being here. KDN is here. Shout out to KDN. Bongo, you called him out earlier, but shout out to Bongo. I got Malam Yuri every single day. I appreciate you, my friend. Crypto Slow, my guy. That's my guy right there. Shout out to you, my friend. He said ultimately isn't BRC 20 2.0 versus Alkanes. BRC 20 is trash in my opinion. I think they're legacy tokens. I think they will always be a part of the Bitcoin ecosystem, but there'll be legacy. I don't believe in what they're building there. I know Black's coming out and he's talking about seeing stuff in a mempool. I gotta see it. And right now they're not showing us anything. So yeah, but Alkanes is showing us bamboo and bamboo. So
Alkanes is actually showing us what BRC 2.0 said they were going to show us. So.
And I mean, this is over what 2 years later. So Unisat and what's that company doing it? Layer One Foundation or something?
No. Best in Slot. So I got to give Best in Slot the credit for the other stuff, right? They've been the leading indexer that provides APIs to teams and stuff. Yeah. So that part they've done great with. But the BRC 2.0, we've been waiting forever. It's been 84 years.
100%. Stan says, will Hypermall usher in new fresh devs into the Bitcoin ecosystem? Yeah, because they're using that programming language, right? They're using the what is that?
JavaScript. It is JavaScript. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well could, because
maybe we should build something over there, man.
The thing is, like when I would talk to like my friends last cycle, right, like 2022, whenever it ended, right, that were developers, a lot of them would be like, I don't want to learn a new language, talking
Yeah.
about validity and stuff. And they were just like, that's not, we don't really consider that really like
Yeah.
programmers. But now, because it's starting to become more mainstream and you're opening it up, like I think WASM is actually really big too, because like those video game developers use Rust, right? But with JavaScript, you're even going down to like a basic like traditional programmer and stuff like that. So you open the doors there.
Yeah, but if you write your smart contract in Java, then put it in AI and say, hey, can you translate this to whatever, to Solidity? I think it can do it. And I think we can do a really good job of it.
I wonder what they're gonna do with that part though, because that's
Dude,
gonna
I think
be interesting.
developers are kind of like old now, bro. I mean, it's going to take a couple years. The transition is going to happen, but I think that some of the
Vibe
developers'
coding.
jobs, I think vibe coding is the new. I think anyone, guys. I've been experimenting with ChatGPT with coding. And I know nothing about coding, and yesterday I was able to create a website in about 15 minutes and connect my MetaMask to it in 15 minutes because the code's already written. ChatGPT just sees the code and just copy and pastes it, right? I mean, it's seriously, I love developers and I think you guys are absolutely amazing. But if you guys are not like putting AI into your work and making you that much better and that much faster, you're gonna get left behind. All developers should be using AI right now. And when they say, "Oh, AI is not there yet," you haven't experimented with it. Like you haven't. It's right there. It's right there. Stan says, "Are BTC maxis hindrance to innovation versus alts? So if so, are Benny efforts a dead on arrival? Thanks." Like I said, I don't think anyone's efforts will be dead on arrival. You can really, I don't know. I don't know how to answer this.
No, I think maxis are losing their power. Actually, I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the not the exact pull request that was originally causing all the ruckus for the opportune data limit removal, but pretty much it was just, I think there was a number put on it, but it was like a way higher ceiling, right?
Gotcha.
So I mean, they got what they wanted basically, right? And so the maxis, the traditional maxis, they're losing their power, in my opinion. So the stuff that's being built, like I don't think any of these efforts that have true innovation are going to be dead on arrival. I think that people are going to continually build that. You see what's happening with our ecosystem. I mean,
that must have been a quiet push out because I haven't really seen anything on my timeline.
It was, dude. It was sneaky. Well, I think I talked to you about it. I told you about it yesterday, and you're like, "What?" It was so sneaky, dude. I don't even know who.
I gotta get something for that.
Oh, you know who posted it? It was so sneaky, but it was actually David Bailey who posted it. Which to me, I'm like, why was that even sneaky? Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody looks at his post, and I don't know if it's intentional and people just want to like not make a big deal about it because it caused all the. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. You don't want to scare Sailor. You don't want to scare Larry Fink. You want this stuff to kind of go through.
Plus, you just don't want the crybabies to keep crying. It's like annoying.
Yeah. 100%. And we got my man Kate Gans is 130K to incoming. Cash Cat, so we can come the coach here with his coffee and his donuts and the dog go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, man. Appreciate you, my friend, being here every single day this week, man. Absolutely awesome. It's great having you back. Speaking of having back, we got my man Tim Bakes, AOD Art himself. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here today. He said, "Well, let's go." And KDN says, "Come on, Billy Cats." And Cash Cat says, "With what is getting built on Bitcoin, a new kind of maxi taking the throne." I don't want to be that way though, bro. Like, I don't want to be a maxi to anything. I want to be open-minded. I want to be open-minded to innovation.
Yeah, and
maybe that's.
So I think it's more of a new kind of Bitcoin community or ecosystem person or whatever, right? And I think that's the point he's trying to get across because it is, and what he's saying, in my opinion, and I tell me if I'm wrong, Cats, but it's like it's more open to innovation. You know what I mean? And that's what needs to happen for our ecosystem to continually thrive. In the argument on the other side is, oh, well, Bitcoin will always do its thing. Yeah, sure, it will. But, you're going to have to figure out the security budget and how that looks like in the future. That they keep thinking that that's not going to be an issue. It will eventually be an issue, I think. You know what I mean? We'll see.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I agree. Yeah. All right. Let's get the comments down. Oh, yes, he said exactly. 100%. So, all right, let's dig into some stuff here. So, this is pretty big. XAI has partnered with Polymarket to combine prediction markets with X data and Grok's analysts. So XAI isn't X, two different companies. X does own a lot of XAI. They Elon sold a bunch of it to X or something like that. I don't know. They're all combined. They're all an Elon company, right? But XAI now is partnered with Grok and Polymarket. Like, well, I guess Grok is XAI's number one product. They've partnered with Polymarket, so now you're able to use Grok on Polymarket and potentially on X as well. You're going to be seeing stuff at the bottom. Like, would you like to predict on this, or would you like to make this prediction, and that's going to take you to Polymarket? I don't know. How do you feel about this relationship between XAI, and Polymarket?
I like it, but Polymarket really benefits from this, right?
Yeah.
And because they have like this whole audience that are going to use Grok. But I also like it because Polymarket is not the only part of the house that it's like a poker house, right? Like the poker house only wants to take the what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but it's their fee every time they deal a hand, right? And you feel good, you feel much better about that at a poker house than you do if you go play blackjack, because you know that you're losing straight up your money to them, right? They're taking your money. And so this is how I feel about Polymarket. Polymarket is putting these markets up for you to go up against somebody else, not you to go up against them, right? And so this is where I think you can actually leverage Grok's AI capabilities, or whatever AI, it's going to be Grok here, to help you to make these decisions. Dude, there's been people that have made tons of money on Polymarket betting on Jerome Powell, you know what I mean? Or betting on tariff stuff. Like, we're talking about like, you know, $1.2 million over the past like 6 months, because it's been so consistent. And there's people on the other side that just want to gamble, right? Now imagine you getting a little deeper and using Grok or, you know, AI tool to kind of guide you through that. So that's where I think this is actually pretty cool, and it shows a little glance and preview of what's to come, I think, for Web3.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think it's just cool. I think it's cool. It's definitely a head nod to Polymarket. But that's the thing is, like, I can't use Polymarket.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like I get a KYC one, and then I think you have to not be in America when you're using it. So I don't know. I think that does open up though with this new administration, but we will see when we get some regulation for this type of stuff. We are seeing it every day, a little by little. Decentralized platforms. Polymarket's decentralized. End of the day, you're betting with a smart contract. That's it. So, all right. Let's jump into the next thing. So, Trump-backed WLFI launches, which is World Liberty 5. Anyone doesn't know, launches USD1 stablecoin on TRON network for the first time. We do know that WLFI stablecoin USD1 is on Binance Smart Chain, with like the top 5 holders having like 4 million. So it's very tiny over there, but you're seeing a lot of liquidity pools now go from USDC to USD1 over there. But now for the first time ever, you're seeing it on TRON. We do know that Justin Sun is a huge holder of WLFI, so this is probably why, you know, he did do it. He's like, all right, bring your stablecoin to over there. We do know that USDT has been minting a ton over there, so maybe it's time for USD1 to start minting like crazy and be on TRON.
Complete business like mentality doing this, right? This is the second largest probably entity in Asia in terms of TRON. You got Binance and then TRON with Justin Sun, and that's the business side of the Trump name, right? They're open-minded to doing business in the East, and I think that's why they love him being in this administration right now, right? They're like, oh my gosh, they're like, they want to get into crypto. This is perfect for everybody. You know, let's make deals with the entity. Let's make deals with the entity, and it's already happening, you know. And if you go back even like a month, you would have maybe said, is there like beef between Binance and TRON? But the Trump entity doesn't care. It's like these are two big like anchors in Asia. We want to make our, you know, name in this space. And so to me, I think this is huge, right? And USD1, I think we should probably start to expect that to continually grow at some point, start to accelerate pretty quick. We'll see. You know, right now you're right, it isn't that big, but once it starts to hit stride, I think we'll start to see it grow. Like, dang, I didn't realize that it has that much TVL over here. So.
Yeah. Can USD1 take number 3? Do you think?
I think eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're positioning themselves like to be a giant in the space that they're helping like set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we'll see. 100%. All right, so jump over to the next one here. Ondo Finance. We're bringing tokenized real-world assets to the XRP ledger. So Ondo I don't know. I gotta look into it a little bit, but they're backed by BlackRock, or they're a part of BlackRock in some way, right? Ondo Finance tokenized U.S. Treasuries go live on XRP Ledger, enabling institutional access through seamless minting and redemptions via Ripple's RLUSD. So Ripple now, they were trying to get they were trying to buy Circle, but now it looks like that they are just going to go, hey, all right, you know what? We're going to take RLUSD long term here, and we're going to use Ondo to help us with that. Pretty big.
Were you shocked to see this?
Yes. I was, and this is probably just my blindness to hating Ripple, the company, not XRP, right? When I talk about stuff, I kind of put the blinders on. Obviously, Ripple, the company, owns a lot of XRP, but eventually they're going to decentralize. They're going to dump so much of it that they're not even going to own a majority share anymore. So once that happens, I'm bullish on XRP Ledger, not bullish on the XRP token, in the sense of I just hate Brad Garlinghouse and those guys dumping on their users and stuff like that. But they're the number one community token in the world, in my opinion. I mean, they're bigger than Doge, community wise. But yeah, I love this. I love that Ondo's doing this, and I'm bullish on RLUSD as well.
So the surprising part to me was just seeing Ondo create a token product that's going to live on XRPL. And I think,
treasuries, yeah.
but I shouldn't have been like you know what I mean? Like I should have realized that, okay, we're talking about traditional finance, because I mean, let's be real. That's what Ondo's is. It's a chain that's going to support, or it's an environment that's going to support a lot of these TradFi brands that you guys know about. BlackRock's heavily invested in some way or another there. You just had JP Morgan company come out and say that they're launching treasuries or some sort of RWAs there. And now Ondo saying, hey, we're going to extend our reach, and now we're going to also tokenize on XRPL, which to me, this is where the part I think we should have realized, okay, that can happen one day, is that Brad Garlinghouse has that banking institution experience. So when you're in that network, or that type of industry, your network will cross at some point. And I think that's kind of the conversations, and they speak the same lingo, you know what I mean? Like when they're meeting and stuff like that. So, after I thought about it, I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, this makes sense that this is happening. Now, for the people that are listening, probably expect more of this stuff. The stuff that was going to be in the, what was it called? The 2022, that whole network.
Throw that out the window now, though, right? I mean,
no, because I say that a lot of the people that were going to go into that, they were TradFi people. So you're gonna see like the XDL or whatever those names are probably start to partner with each other, because they knew each other from the finance world, right? So that's what I'm saying. But like, I still think we're gonna have our initial, like, where we were the ones that started this industry. When I say we, I'm talking about the unit swaps, all this stuff. That's still going to be like the meat of everything, I think. But the money's going to flow into those areas.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see. And you got to remember, XRP is the gas token, right? Even though that gas is like 0.00001 of an XRP, it's almost nothing. But it still is the gas token for that chain. So I guess you got to get kind of bullish on XRP. I can't believe I'm saying it out loud, but I said it. BlackRock purchased its stake in Circle's IPO at the offering price of 31 per share, which is above initial market range of 27.28. So they were trying to get at 27.28, and I thought that potentially they wouldn't be able to get in at the price they wanted, but they said screw it, we'll get in at 31, and it did double since then. I think it's above $62 right now per share. So how crazy is someone like BlackRock can just like purchase 10% of an IPO, and that entire IPO doubles? Pretty insane that they can put like I mean, that's probably like, I mean, think about it, it was probably like $200-300 million that they just made off this. Pretty crazy.
But wouldn't that be considered like a bullish indicator, right? If BlackRock enters, then you're like, okay, this is probably one that's gonna do well, right?
Yeah. And they're buying this for the people who, like, you got to remember who owns BlackRock, right? It's the real money. It's the Rothschilds. It's like, it's the people who, when people say, oh,
WEF people.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the guys who just have too much money, right? They couldn't spend, and they would have to buy a country in order to be able to spend their money. Like, it's just not possible for them to spend the amount of money they have, but they always want to make more. They want to beat inflation. And how do they do it? They go to someone like BlackRock and they say, hey, invest our money. And BlackRock sees innovation like Circle, like USDC, like crypto, and they're putting this in their portfolios. Think about this. Potentially, like the large people in the world, the Rothschilds world now have Circle potentially in their portfolios.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, Circle. So did you hear about the news about people asking Tether if they're going to go public, and they're like, "We don't need to. You know, we'll do better staying private."
yeah.
But do you think that's the right decision? Because like Circle's obviously going to benefit immensely from
Yeah.
this, but it does depend on the relationships, right? I feel like if
They
Tether
can't
went,
go public.
yeah, if they went public, I don't think they would get the same people on board necessarily. They would get some giants on board,
Yeah.
but not necessarily BlackRock, which you if you have them on your side, that's huge.
No, I think BlackRock. I think the old come in, but in order to go public, you have to open your books up for the last 15 years.
Hey, what's wrong with 15 yachts?
I'm just saying what they did. Well, all that would do is that would unmask, everything that they've done, and there might be some illegal stuff in there as well. I mean, I'm not saying to get to the point where they are without a public IPO. I mean, there some strings were pulled, but everything's fine now, right? Everything's good now. So I just don't know that Tether would. I don't think it would benefit Tether, honestly, to go public.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they said. So
yeah, so I can see Tether selling the company and then going public, but I don't see with the CEO and everything they have now. I don't think that happens. But I can see BlackRock buying Tether out 100% Tether, just giving them the $500 billion or whatever, right? So I don't know. Potentially, we could say. All right, moving along here. I totally talked about that one already. So, let's get into this one. So this is interesting. Bob Bodley had a tweet yesterday, and he basically says, let me actually show it here. But he's basically saying they're finally bringing the runes to Odin.fun, something that we've been playing on for a while here and hoping for an airdrop soon. That would be awesome, Bob. Let's do it. No, I'm just kidding. But all runes are coming to Odin.fun. We're making Bitcoin DeFi magical again, and we can't do it without adding all your favorite runes to Odin.fun for lightning fast trading. Next week on Wednesday, June 18th, which is surprisingly the same day the Fed speaks, will be release the first wave of OG runes tokens on OdinFun. For tokens to be included for the first wave, we need you to come add liquidity. So that's the thing. They're not adding Mr. Yen because no one's willing to put Bitcoin against Mr. Yen, right? They're not adding anything like down the risk curve because you have to physically go in with your Mr. Yen and your Bitcoin and hope that some big whale who is not able to sell his Mr. Yen come in and doesn't just dump one, right? So you're probably only going to see it for, the top 5 runes, which are like Magic Internet Money. They're definitely going to add it. Bob, I wonder if Bongo is going to go add some liquidity for $1 billion cat, and then Dog. Obviously, you're going to see millions of dollars come in for Dog, and and potentially who else. But what do you think benefits from this more, runes or Odin?
Odin, Odin, because they get more deposits. They're going to get more LPs added. So they make their fees off of deposits and withdrawals. I think there's a small maybe transactional fee. I'm not sure in terms of swapping, but they might have an LP fee, and it's a separate deck. So this is something that we've been talking about for a while. It does benefit runes too, because now you get more exposure to like some of, here's an idea. Okay, let's say that like, a smaller rune market cap, like, let's say right now, I think Bro is probably a $2 million market cap. Let's say it gets over there. There's a whale that has it and he wants to put liquidity and gets it going, and that momentum really pushes that market cap up. Then you can arbitrage on the Magic Eden side, and you can get a lot of attention for that specific OG rune, right? So that's the opportunity there. But where I think it might affect some if anybody's gonna have a negative effect, I think it's gonna be the established runes that are on Odin.fun, because now you can have an opportunity to get an OG rune like Bro Bear or Gizmo that's below like the top runes market cap over there, right? Like Gizmo has a lot of like high ceiling potential. We're talking about a token that I think all-time high, I think it got to like 45, maybe 50 million. But it's sitting at like 8 or 7 right now, right? So if you see that, and you know how that crazy community is, and you're over there, then you're like, I'm gonna get in this over Big Cat, or I'm gonna get into this over Odin Dog. So I think that's probably why they held it off for so long, because that Chinese community is like, oh, well, I don't know if this is great. At some point, it will be good in a bullish market for everybody, right? And maybe Bob says, okay, we can't hold off anymore.
Yeah, 100%. But like right now, if you wanted to, you can go do a liquidity pool in Solana, right? So
Yeah.
to me, it's like I just I get it. I think it's cool. I just don't think you're going to get a lot of momentum from it.
Yeah.
Do you think Bob gets momentum? Do you think Bob gets new users from doing this? That's what he's doing this for. He's doing this for to get new users, right?
Yeah, to get new users and to tell like the dog army probably to support it, and because like it's free marketing, right? So like when you have a community as large and strong as dogs community, then you can really utilize that by adding that listing to Odin.fun and saying, hey, go spread the word, go spread the gospel, right? And that dog army will do that. It's exactly what they do, right? Especially if he gets Leo on board, maybe they host a spaces. And I mean, you were in a spaces with the dog people, right? The top dog people, and like you had to get a translator. That's how big the reach is.
Yeah.
So like I think you were in a Brazilian space or
Brazilian,
something.
yeah.
And there was like a translator for you guys, and so that's just the reach that dog has. So I think Odin benefits from that first and foremost.
Yeah, 100%. No, I definitely agree. Yeah, we'll see. So it's going to be cool though when we go look at like Odin.fun and then seeing potentially. I mean, dog's going to be number one, right? I mean, if you look at market cap, you're going to see dog number one. I mean, you got Foreskin here, sitting at 9 million, and then Big Cat at 8.
That's so crazy. First of all, the Forsetti, Forsetti scan.
Okay.
But
so it's not Foreskin. Okay.
No, I saw that at like $50,000. Yeah, and
bro.
because it like hung around there like constantly, and now I guess like the whole Odin community says this is the best thing since I don't know whatever, but it's at 9 million now. Yeah.
What the hell is Bobai, dude? I feel so out on this.
I think it's Bo AI.
Oh, Bob AI.
Yeah, Bob AI.
Okay, that makes sense. I like Bob AI. Yeah, man. Where's some of the older ones? Sparks. Oh, still sitting at 159. That thing hasn't moved at all. And then Super X is like gone.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing, man. It's like, where's Ghost in the Nose? Is that even in there? Because I think Caffeine AI is actually live now, and so I'm not sure if it is.
Oh, there it
is.
Is. 117.
Yeah, so that's crazy that they're like that low. It almost makes me feel like imagine the people that held onto those bags, and then like now they see like a whole new top 5. You know what I mean? Like even Odin Dog's not number 1, and we thought that would never get dethroned.
I know. Number 5 now. Scary.
Yeah.
Odin, Pepe, and stuff like that. All right. Well, okay. Let's jump over to something else though. So we have a newcomer entering the space. So we do know that Bob is and OdinFun is using ICP subnet to do what they're doing. Runeshot is actually using Near. It doesn't look like your normal pump fund stuff, but let's kind of check see what's going on here.
Well, those tokens are right there. Oh, there it is. Yeah,
market cap. So you see mine. Dog's here. You can actually buy dog here. Can you see the so if I want to, this is brand new to me. I haven't really checked this. So if I want to buy dog,
you deposit.
I can buy dog with
well,
with
you
Bitcoin
have to.
here.
So you have to you have to deposit the Bitcoin in there.
Why did dog just plummet?
Well, because someone took advantage of it and shot it up to $650 million, or almost $650 million, and then they're like, sell.
It's sitting at $4.37. This can't be right.
No, that's not right. That's probably some sort of sats or something. I don't know, but it shows it's wow. What? Hold on. It shows the market cap right. Oh, it had the market cap up there, but yeah. So there's no way they. Yeah. But if you look at the new ones, you can see the new ones are Black Dragon, which is that Black Dragon meme.
Is that 389,000? Holy shit! This is bonded last night. That's 60,000. That's crazy.
Yep, and then you got my name is Jeff for governor.
Oh, Jeff for governor.
Jeff for governor.
Which one's bonded and which ones hasn't?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe on the left side.
This is kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie.
So I do think the UI could be a little bit better. Honestly, I feel like it just from a user friendly standpoint, it just it reminds me of like it reminds me of like an old website, right? Like, but But we know the guys, and we know they're good at what they do. So maybe they adjust. Maybe they get some user feedback, but maybe the users like it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I can play songs. Russian weird song. Like, what is this? Oh, well, you can play music while you're doing your thing over here. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. Okay, you can go into light mode. Oh crap! It's the puppets. Don't look behind the curtain. It's a bunch of puppets.
You didn't know that? I could see the puppets in the dark mode.
I didn't know. I didn't see it. Don't look behind the curtain. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see what can happen here with who do you think wins? I'm putting you on a spot here.
Well,
We have the other one that's on base too. What's that? Funky bit.
Funky bit.
So who wins the Rune War?
I think we can't really tell until Arch Network launches, right? Because I thought Funky Bit might have been kind of just dormant, and maybe I was like, are they still building with Arch? I asked the founding team at Arch, and they said, yeah, for sure. They're still building, and they're still supporting them in terms of like a bit considered a big builder in the Arch ecosystem. But it was just an experience that I think that probably they should have waited until Arch fully launched, right? I mean, they could have added the base part then as well to onboard people then, but doing it so early, I think it just really halted that momentum. But they can pick it back up with Arch with the launch. We'll see if that happens. I think at that point, Runeshot will be more advanced, and then Odin's already kind of been building. Odin's experience is fun. We both experienced it there, like the usability of it and stuff like that. So I think it's more of the other two need to prove that they're a better experience than Odin versus who's going to win.
Yeah. And me personally, though, I'm kind of done with these pump fund models. Like I'm getting back into like the long term hodl. Just buy hodl. Yeah, I lost so much money on Odin.fun, man. It was fun in the beginning, but I'm hoping that airdrop pays me back for. Come on, Bob, do the airdrop. No, I'm just kidding. Stan says we keeping Web 2 gaming devs from entering Web 3 in mass when ownership is on the table. Thanks. So. We're all waiting for Rockstar, and the problem with Web3 gaming right now is we don't know what's a security, what's not a security. So you're seeing Web2 places like all the bigger gaming places. They probably have products ready. They just don't want to launch them yet because one, they're all waiting to see what Rockstar brings to the table. And two, they're all waiting for regulation to come in, and I think we're going to get really good gaming regulation coming up here. When you see Rockstar kind of come out, people are going to be like, okay, we're able to go, we can do this. But I don't think Web3 gaming is going to be the guys who started building here. I think it's the Web2 builders eventually going to just add blockchain stuff into their games, but you're not even going to know you're using blockchain. It's all going to be in the back end, in my opinion, using something like I don't know, a really fast chain, maybe Sui, maybe Solana, but I don't know. But I think it's going to come the other way. It's going to be these Rockstar type of companies adding blockchain. So when you own your asset, you can actually trade it and sell it in their economy.
Yeah, and I mean, this is actually a good question. Is what's keeping the traditional devs out of Web3? I think it goes back to that topic that we talked about when I would talk to my developer friends and stuff, and they're like imagine that you love building video games, you work for Epic Games or Rockstar or something like that, and all of a sudden they're like, all right, there's this new industry, and they're talking strictly to the video game developers. You're gonna have to integrate the wallet, and the wallet has to do a payment and this and that. They're just like, they want to build like the functionality of the game part, right? And so I think what's gonna happen is there's gonna have to be like a whole nother set of specialists that build that infrastructure part with the wallet, and let the game developers build the game, make that game as good as possible. What I mean? Not focus on the monetary aspect of it, because I think that's what disconnects them. To them, it's art in a sense, right? Like they're building this amazing game that has great gameplay and stuff like that. But whenever the incentive first becomes like monetary, then I think you lose some of that passion. And I think that's why they haven't crossed over. And the ones that have this gaming experience of developing games that have come over here, they come over here with the first mentality of monetization first. And I think it doesn't necessarily always, turn out great. So I agree. I think it's going to be like the companies that say, okay, it's game on, but they'll have to figure out how to make their best developers focus on what they're best at.
you wouldn't have your developers doing blockchain. You would just hire a
Yeah.
blockchain team. Like you're gonna bring in, to your point, yeah, you're gonna bring in marketplace makers, right? Maybe like a COO of Kraken to be your CEO or something like that. You know what I mean? You're gonna bring not Kraken of OpenSea, or bring in someone from Magic Eden, someone who knows how marketplaces work and stuff like that, who can build you a team around it, right? But to my opinion, they're doing that. Right, they're all doing, especially with Coinbase saying, 60% of all the Fortune 500 companies are doing that. They're all doing it. They're waiting for regulation. I mean, you couldn't launch it. Think about it though. Last year, you couldn't launch any type of gaming. Like Rockstar couldn't have launched their coin or anything like that. They couldn't, because it would have been destroyed by Gary Gensler. So I think regulation is a big thing there. Stan says, by any chance, would the channel know where ICP grabs the computational power for Caffeine AI?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't like. I would probably imagine that, Damien, which is the founder of ICP, and I think this has been kind of his pet project, that he wouldn't just create like a wrapper. I would imagine that he would try to, he'd probably create some custom way of doing this. But even then, like, you have to get that computational power from somewhere, because you got to pay for the inferences and all that power. So good question though. I don't know, but I know that that's been like a hot topic, Caffeine AI, and curious if you've used it, Stan, and if you have, what your experience has been like.
Yeah, man, 100%. I'm curious as well. He also says, any opinion on Solana Seekers relevance? I don't know what that is to you.
Solana Seekers, no.
But shout out to Max. He says, Max reposted the stream. Shout out to Max reposting the stream. Max, are you AI? That seemed like a very AI comment there. But thank you, sir, for being here. It looks like our guys are going to be a little late coming in.
Yeah, maybe. But the Seeker is the phone. It's the Solana phone, mobile phone.
Powered by the Seeker. Okay.
So powered by SKR, native asset of the Solana mobile economy, value. Hold on. Did that in the commercial it says value extracted? No, it doesn't. I mean, that is Solana. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're gonna see, man. If this is a product that people Web3 connoisseurs end up actually like using a lot, it's gonna be interesting to see if this becomes like a movement, like the mobile Web3 phone.
Yeah, I mean, but do you need an extra phone to do Web3? Like, I don't.
No, I don't.
You just get an app, right? Just get a wallet app. Like, I don't understand. Maybe it's safer to not use your personal phone. I don't know.
We'll see. There's a reason why they made it though, so we'll see. But there's been all types of like gadgets and gimmicks, I feel like, on Solana. Remember the Hive driver? Well, actually, you earn off of that, right? So
that was awesome. Yeah, dude, if I would have kept those coins that I was earning, they did like a 70x from where I was receiving them.
Where are they at now, though?
They dropped recently. They've dropped down, but like in like November of last year, like they like 70x from, because I remember, like I was actually just checking that wallet because I was kind of seeing if I had any there, but I was selling I was looking at like today's value, it would have been like I was earning like $300, $400 a week in those tokens. When I was getting like gas at the time, like $60-$50. So it would, by doing that, just driving to work, it would make my my work ride free because I was earning the Hive tokens. But yeah, man. All right. So it is Wednesday at 12:30, and every Wednesday at 12:30, we like to have our good friends on from Sats Terminal. Sats Terminal is building some really, really, really amazing stuff. They're building an aggregator DEX. So right now, if you use Ethereum and you want to trade, you have to trade through amazing DEX. The UI is amazing. The experience is awesome. But when you come to Bitcoin, when you want to trade runes and stuff like that, in the beginning, especially BRC20s, it was all marketplace. And if you wanted to sell, there was no liquidity pools, nothing. But what Sats Terminal is bringing to the table is that they're actually looking through all of the DEXs out there, by the dot swaps, Magic Eden, and then you got stuff like runes DEX and stuff like that, and they're making sure that you guys get the cheapest price on your runes and Alkanes. Now they just added Alkanes, which is awesome. So actually, this is the best place to go because they're going to find you the cheapest route token. So like, if you want to say you're about to buy on Magic Eden, it might actually be cheaper on DotSwap. How are you supposed to know that besides going to DotSwap? Well, right now you can just go to Sats Terminal and you can find out exactly where the fastest and cheapest place to get that rune that you want is, and absolutely huge.
Yeah, yeah. I think they've created an amazing product, and you can tell because other builders are constantly reaching out to work with them, right?
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about being like the first in like a formidable aggregator product is that everybody's like, especially in the growing DeFi innovative like environment, they want the aggregator a part of it, whether it's a wallet, whether it's a DEX, they want them to aggregate from them, right? So it's awesome to be in that position, and I'm excited about that.
Yep. So without further ado, let's bring up Stan, the CEO of Sat Terminal. Stan, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
Going well. How are you doing?
Fine, I guess. It's so hot outside. It's crazy, but yeah, it's okay. Building.
Yeah. For sure. You guys have had some pretty big initiatives kick off. One of them is Amber is Forever, and we know that's like a big Bitcoin ecosystem kind of collaborative effort, right? Could you dive into that to kind of kick us off here? What is Amber is Forever, and what's the objective behind it?
So we reach out to a bunch of top communities in Alkanes and Rune space, and we offer them to participate in a campaign where we will be giving quite significant rewards. Like I think in total we have 600,000 Amber, and we already got like, I think in dollar value it would be something around 4K, 5K in Runes Alkanes that we plan to also give to some of the random people that would participate in the campaign. And yeah, here you have more details. So it would be sort of like a giveaway plus trading competition. You get the most if you're participating in the trading competition, and for now it would be the easiest to do with the runes because you can buy and sell pretty fast and easy at the best price with us. And yeah, you see we're rewarding like 40% for the first place. I think that's a decent chunk of the pool for someone who would be willing to jump into competition. And you see, we mentioned Dog, Fartain, Meme, Lobo, Mine, Billy, Pops, Hull, but there are so many other partners and communities that want to participate in this program, and we are considering if we want to extend it even further, like get maybe 10 more partners. So throughout the program, throughout this 90 days, the price pool will be growing. We might be contributing to that as well, and yeah, you see like 250,000 Amber also for first place, second place 100K, third place 50. That's quite a significant Amber reward. And we are trying to engage with people and get them to just try their luck. You might do a couple of trades. Let's say you're doing a DCA for dog, you're buying everyday dog. Why not to do it now through Sats terminal? You might get a chance to get a lot of Amber. And also, if you trade quite actively, then you might snatch 40% of the pool, and let's say it will grow 2x from now. So that would be a decent bonus, right? That will cover all of the Bitcoin fees that trader paid in his life, and his kids will pay, I guess. Yeah, and 30% we allocate for just to reward people that will participate. So anyone who will go to Sats terminal, do a transaction with any of the listed assets, they would enter the raffle, and then we would be doing a random randomizer thing, finding 10 winners. Yeah, and finally, I see that we added 200% Amber boost in the end of the message, but I think that's even even more interesting part, because every time you would do a transaction within the next 3 months, you would get Amber boost, and
Nice.
you can farm it faster. And yeah, I was looking just recently. I was looking in some of the numbers that we have for Amber. There are quite significant veils. You can also check that in leaderboard. It's like, I thought 250,000 is a very big price. Now I'm pretty much sure, because 250,000 will put straight away that person #1 position in the leaderboard.
Wow. That's I mean, this is definitely a really good give back, because I felt like you guys were generous for when you first connect your wallet, you get 1,000 Amber, but you're talking about 250, 150,000. And then even if you are in the lucky 10 of the 30%, you're still getting 25,000 here. So that's without incorporating the boost. But let's talk about the objective, right? You say trading, competition. Are we talking about like volumes? Are we talking about P&Ls? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, literally volume. So we just want to, recognize users that have significant activity. That's first. And second, we're still an early company. We're just a couple of months at this stage, and a lot of the people that are farming Ember, a lot of our users, our early supporters, they helped us to go from nothing to being a leading DEX aggregator. So we want to reward these guys. I honestly, for me, loyalty is one of the most important traits, and loyal users is our not bread and butter, but this is the most important component of any product. Your core users, the early advocates. So that's all for them, all for users. You see, we got that money all for users.
Yeah, and you're gonna go buy runes and Alkanes anyway. Why not do it through Sats Terminal and actually earn on top of that? It's actually stupid not to use Sats Terminal right now, especially during Amber is Forever. Because like you said, 200% bonus for the Amber. So I kind of regret making my trades previously. I should have waited a little bit because this bonus would put me almost double.
Exactly. You still have an
double.
opportunity, dude. Come on now.
Yeah, I gotta get a job, bro. I gotta get some money. No, I'm just playing. But maybe I'll just trade them back and then keep trading them back and forth. And maybe I'll become a day trader on Sats Terminal and start mining some of this stuff here. So
yeah.
To be fair, I believe that if the thing is that I remember some of my trading volume, especially the last cycle when I was actively trading on centralized exchange, you could generate a report and see. And I can say, if I would be trading right now on Sats Terminal, I would get a chance for that 1 to 3 place. And I was not the biggest trader. From all of the people I knew, I was not the biggest trader. I think that currently, if you get into runes trading, especially pre-Kraken listing, that's the best time. No, it's the best time. It's right now. It's quiet before the storm. Obviously, the news with Kraken. Everyone right now is like a golden fish, so you have a very short attention span. People saw the news, it was mega bullish. Sure. Then everyone is silent. Let's wait for the listing. But it's happening inevitably. That would be a big boom. And I think today I saw the video, or yesterday, co-founder, co-CEO of Kraken, he was saying that we are actually looking into adding maybe some other assets. We're looking closer into Bitcoin ecosystem. Of course, that abstract, but that's probably around ordinals or listing other runes, maybe Alkanes. That's really bullish.
Yeah. I thought that was bullish for the ecosystem. It probably made some runes people kind of everybody wants to protect their bags, but let's welcome Psyclops up on stage with us as well. Thank you for joining us. We just went over the Amber is Forever campaign, right? This is amazing. You guys are kind of showing the cohesion of the Bitcoin ecosystem with all these, runes projects and some Alkanes as well, collaborating with you guys. Psyclops, how has the response been? Maybe you can kind of add a little bit on top of what we already talked about here.
The response has been great. It's a lot of the projects. We're really fortunate. I think our price pool is about $4,000 so far in climbing, and then we're still reaching out. But pretty much we want to get everyone in the whole ecosystem on our thing, because really I see it as we want to just give as much attention as we can to every single runes project. And being an aggregator is just the best way to do it. It's kind of almost like a responsibility on our end.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And the Amber that's being given away here, right? You guys obviously you got to be a little careful about Amber and how you break it down. But what's the best way to break it down? Because what I say is alpha for the future, and you guys can put 2 and 2 together. Because I don't want to go further than that to the audience. But what's your best kind of way to break down Amber?
I think it's just a way, additional metric that we have to identify our early supporters, because we're building. So Sats Terminal is not a project that we want to build quickly, launch multiple products and then figure out what we will do next. We have quite a clear path, and we know where we want to be. And there will be more products coming from our side. There will be more instruments, and all of the users that are right now with us on the DEX aggregator, they would only benefit from being early supporters. And for us, Ember is that important number in the leaderboard to know, okay, these are the guys that've been with us like from very, very early. And eventually, of course, we will reward all of the people that were early
There
with
you
us.
go.
Either through some of the connections through the product, or making better service, or maybe something else. Wink, wink. So
yeah. There you go. I think that was the punchline everybody was waiting for. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think most people that watch our show are that experienced, DeFi user, or, Bitcoin ecosystem user. They know that, projects over here really like to give back, and you guys are expressing that through this, Amber is Forever campaign here. Let's kind of move the topic a little bit over, get into the space a bit, right? Our topic of our show was Alkanes versus Runes. Who wins it all? And we knew that was going to cause a little controversy. Shizzy and I both kind of lean more towards Runes because of the infrastructure, but Alkanes is really, stirring stuff up right now with these smart contract capabilities and having logic and computation involved with Bitcoin assets. Let's start with you, Stan. I don't want to make you pick one, but what's your perspective on this kind of, I guess, both meta protocols getting, the limelight right now?
Yeah, so I think like I would never pick, right? We're an aggregator, so why would we? We are completely unbiased. The only goal we have in the space is to support the new developments that are happening, and make sure that our users have access to that. That's for us the most important. So even like with Alkanes, they just came out. The IT Club was live while Wallet announced, okay, we're launching Alkanes. I think we started integration on like 4th or 5th day. We had a couple of discussions within the team, but then, okay, let's add it, because this is a new technology. It's definitely getting some interest. There is definitely community behind it, and this community needs infrastructure for trading. They want to buy their Alkanes in a nice UI UX through a simple swap like every other blockchain. So here we are. Runes, I think they are, it's like a legacy protocol already. It would be forever with Bitcoin. Like just I don't know what happens in 5 years or 10 years, but we will all remember how runes were created, how people were paying like insane amount of money for blocks, how they were, the first wave of runes. That's history. So I think that will be always like some sort of legacy asset, whether it would be active or who knows, maybe in our memories, maybe there will be runes 2.0, runes 3.0 or something else. But I think it's one of the first very major protocols that will remain in our mind. And tech-wise, I think that of course, like there's not much technical work happening in Runes protocol, right? If any. And with Alkanes, they're building, and who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm supporting every single protocol.
Yeah.
Runes, Alkanes, BRC20s.
Agnostic.
Yeah, anything. So I want to make it clear: we support everyone. We're completely unbiased,
and that's smart.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I'm kind of seeing, runes as like the community coins or the meme coins, right? And then you're kind of seeing maybe Alkanes now kind of becoming more utility plays, more smart contract areas of maybe we see a lending platform, maybe we see some real DeFi being built over there. You are seeing like a Satoshi dice type of game now with these pandas dropping. So I'm kind of seeing like it depends what you want to do. If you want to buy a meme, maybe you go to the runes, but if you want to play in utility, you do something over there. But if Casey wakes up and decides, hey, I'm just going to put WASM smart contracts in runes, go ahead, guys, it's now available. I think maybe Casey could potentially put mess up Alkanes a little bit by just adding WASM contracts to runes. And because at the end of the day, all Alkanes are is just runes with capabilities. So Casey could add that over there. So Casey could win the war, but it doesn't seem like he wants to fight that battle.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. I'm curious, Cyclops. You if you could respond to what Shizzy said and what you're seeing, because you're out there in the community in spaces and this and that, and your perspective as well, if you wouldn't mind.
I mean, Alkanes has a lot of love. Like, there's already a whole ecosystem built up there, and I think that's, and I support all that. I do think ultimately, as like the biggest important for me for Bitcoin DeFi is to also just make sure everything also comes back to the mother chain, because we just I'm trying to figure out mining with a friend, and it's just like it's so unprofitable right now, like mining in general, that it's like it needs to kind of get solved, because long term it can really affect the network in a bad way, and maybe there are institutions that will just cover it, but that could also cause it to be centralized. So I mean, I support everything. Like, I think Alkanes people are having a ton of fun. The pandas are huge with the bamboo announcement, and like Lefo's doing amazing work there. I mean, I think ultimately, as long as it, because like I think we should support every side chain, every chain, because that ultimately helps the whole Bitcoin as a whole. And so like if it's too fragmented, people just kind of leave, and you just want to have this whole interoperable like world that can just happen in Bitcoin, which eventually puts everything back on Bitcoin.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, we were actually talking about that earlier, about the security budget and how what that looks like in the future. Because you know, our blocks have been really empty, right? I mean, it's just, I remember there was this saying that was going on, like, you know, this is the cheapest that you're ever gonna find. You know, the sats per VByte before the halving, it's going to be crazy. And then, like, you know, laughing at that. It's just kind of like, remember with the runes, like Stan brings this up to me just now when he's talking about like the history of it. Everybody was like convinced to run their own node for the launch of runes, which it was cool. That was an educational thing. I get that. But like, it's so funny how things are so different now.
I think that was bad marketing for runes, though. Because people are like, oh, crap, now I don't even want to get into runes because I don't want to run my own node, and I'm not going to participate. And I think that might have caused the bear market that we've experienced.
Everybody participated, though.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, dude. I don't think any of the BRC dude, China did not participate. China did not participate.
I will say
that's 70% of the market.
I will say China definitely didn't participate as much as I thought, but like, don't get it twisted. We got wrecked on the mint day. You don't remember that?
Because China didn't play. If China doesn't play, you get wrecked. That is our ecosystem right now. China number one.
We'll see.
It was really the minting, I think, that got everybody in a bad mood. Like, it just, like, when I see, like, I don't want to name any brands, but when I just see some of the things that come up on TG that's like, this is almost like minted, I'm just like, I almost have shell shock, because I've like minted so many things, and then you got like, I've even tried to make runes, you know, like other than cats, and it's like, before you can even mint it, it's like because you have to put a picture in, it's like they just take your token and then they just start minting it and then trading it, and you're just like come on, like, so like I think it's like that's just the point that needs to be fixed. And then because people trade ordinals, you know, like people trade BRC20, like they trade like, and it's not like Solana. Like Solana is faster, but like it's not like, I mean, how many people are high frequency trading Solana meme coins? You know, like where they're like, I need to have that fast transaction speed. So it's like usually most people are just kind of like doing one or two buys, and then, you know, you're just kind of waiting for it to go up, and it's just like, I don't see. It's just like when that whole area gets kind of messed up by that like minting aspect, it's like, I think just once that gets figured out, or there's like launch pads, or just, you know, more options, it gets a lot better, in my opinion.
It was good. Minting was really popular in 2023 whenever things were like, you know, we didn't expect that bull run to happen within the Bitcoin ecosystem. But yeah, I think people got so used to like just the quick buying with liquidity pools and stuff that they got tired of like trying to do the mint process. But we'll see how that changes. But let's pivot here a little bit. You know, I know that there's several different updates. We talked about, you know, the Amber is Forever campaign. I know you guys have been partnering and working with other like wallets and this and that. Is there any updates that you guys would like to give to the community?
We have a bunch of updates. I think like of course like starting with the Embers Forever because it just came out yesterday. So I think that was quite a significant big campaign. Psyclops was showing video last week that we created. You can now watch it in our feed. It's a pinned message. There's significant rewards and we're trying to engage with community so they don't miss this window 90 days where they can like farm and get like incredible rewards. In 90 days they will be significantly lower. Like even if you go like transact without the boost, without the chance to win Ember, it will be not that much. So like early on, I think you get like the best possible situation. Oh, here it is.
Oh, no sound. There's no sound.
I mean, I can play a sound, but the music will.
Oh, is it loud?
Lose monetization. No, it's just.
Oh.
It's just yeah.
Dude, that's pretty cool though. The little the 1-inch punch. The Bruce Lee 1-inch punch. A rookie.
I wish I could have him punch further. He has really short arms.
Yeah. But you're saying that this is gonna be like you have a 90-day window, guys, that if you're listening, so you got three months here, and then after that, the amber points are gonna significantly be reduced in terms of opportunity. And you see this kind of happen as like projects get closer and closer to like either, you know, something big coming up. I don't want to get further into that, or you know, they just kind of that campaign kind of comes to a little bit of a close. So just take advantage of that. Like you want to make like, why wouldn't you? You know, so
yeah,
That's what I keep saying.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
awesome.
Yeah, man. And I noticed some really cool stuff on the site here. We do have this new trending feature. Last time you guys were on the show, we didn't have this. Can you talk about that a little bit? What is this?
Oh, there are actually two things. You can also see a small icon in the left bottom corner.
Oh,
You see? And
Oh, wow.
This is like a chat. You can send us a message. We are working also on setting this up. We are working right now on FAQ articles, on troubleshooting. Like you can write there. One sec.
who gets
Wait,
my
it-
message?
Wait, is that AI or is that like live?
No, really.
It goes to Stan. I just heard his computer open. Right?
Dude, that would be hilarious. Imagine like a year down the road, like traffic is crazy, and you're like, "Hey, team member, I need help." You're like, "This is the CEO, Stan. What can I help you with?"
Oh yeah, you see? Wow,
It's been a rough year.
That's an amazing reaction time. Let's go. Wow, very good.
Is it a real person?
Yes.
What? You
Yeah,
are,
yeah. This
Howard,
is-
you
this
are
is our-
live.
You know they're watching, right? I'm just
I
kidding.
can also
Oh,
write
that's
to you.
Sasha?
Yeah, that's Sasa. I just sent yo, like Sasa was there.
This is awesome.
Dude,
Can't
that's
I need on the PFP to give him like a little headset like what I'm wearing. So it looks
I
like he's
this
like an
kid.
operator.
I
That's
like
top.
his
yeah.
He has Ricky with McDonald's hat. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's top-notch customer service, though, right there for sure.
Yeah, that's what you get if you don't farm Ember. You know, like you would need to put that hat to make some money to compensate. that's where we are coming from. Yeah.
This is so cool. So cool.
So we added the chat. We will have FAQ there. We want to add like some auto responses as well, so people can search, because sometimes you want to buy like a big amount of a certain rune that is less liquid. For example, there might be problems on the individual partner websites. We want to make sure that people can easily troubleshoot, even though it's a very simple product. But you want to make sure that there are like 0 questions. People can click just on that button and find any answer. But yes, out of that, trending runes, these are the ones that we see like the most activity through SATS terminal front end, and some of the projects that are significantly active, especially in the last 30 days. We saw a lot of big transactions. We reposted a lot of videos, Gizmo transactions right now. RuneMine just released their token, which is getting like quite a lot of attention. Of course, Liquidium, our great partner and amazing, one of the blue chip runes in my opinion. Meme, it's like top three rune always. And of course, Dog is number one. Dog is always number one.
Yeah.
Is this like the order
Like
of value?
just to
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, just to point out, Liquidium I mean, they're doing a really great job of just creating a utility rune. Like, and I don't think people like give it as
they don't
much
get enough
credit as it
Yep.
deserves.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. There's a couple I think that don't get credit, and I think because of how big Dog is, and then like the Billy community, but like Dog's army is crazy. But you're absolutely right. I think projects like Liquidium, and we remember having Robin on our spaces and our show back in 2023, and how far that team has really come in terms of like. And the one thing I'll tell you I love about him and his team is he's very open-minded. You know what I mean? Like in terms of, okay, look, I know we're trying to stay as native as possible, but what does this look like? What does this look like? Can this be a better experience for our user in this way? Maybe we can get this group of users, but we still, have that native option. So I really like that. And I think there's a couple other fluids. Another one, I think there's going to be some that come out here in the next, I would say maybe like 3 to 6 months as well. So runes will have a utility sector for sure.
Yeah, and real quick, so is this in any type of order? Like, is or is this kind of just random?
I think we're, if I'm not mistaken, we're pulling that from Magic Eden, but maybe we changed our. No, we're pulling that from Magic Eden. Yeah.
I think he's like asking, is it based on volume? Is it based on like market cap?
Definitely not market cap.
No,
because then it would be Dog, Tesla, Pops, and something like that.
It would actually be Feihu. Feihu has a bigger market cap.
Well, that's a fake market cap. No,
it's still a market cap, right? So, I mean, but then you guys have Alkanes, right? There's a new one on the block here.
Alkanes by volume.
That's by volume. Okay.
Yeah, that's by volume 100%. I was checking that. Alchemist was yesterday the first one.
Gotcha. So I guess Methane came back because Methane got wrecked when Alchemist launched. I've seen all of them actually get wrecked when Alchemist launched, and you're kind of seeing money kind of flow back into some of them. But Alchemist is the new guy on the block here. But yeah, awesome, you guys have that already so quickly.
I like how it's all gas. All the top coins, it's like methane, fartade.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely some narrative unfolding in the Alkanes community. We are not in the Alkanes cabal that much to understand this narrative. Maybe somehow we'll find that later.
You know what? I think they're like
inflatable people.
Yeah, that's fart coin saga probably. That probably inherits a little bit of that fart coin lore. Yeah.
Well, Alkane is based off of like, isn't it kind of like the whole like, what was it called? The
like a chemical.
Yeah, like the periodic table, kind of the compounds and stuff like that. That's why it kind of reminded me of Atomicals a little bit, because like Atomicals, when they first launched their tokens, it was like based on the science and stuff like that. They kind of have that, but it's obviously a step further with these smart contracts. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. But I'm impressed by how quick you guys can add support. How does that happen? Do you have like a dev team of 20, or do you just have a crazy we know that your CTO is cracked out, but besides, like, how do you guys get this done?
I hear that word so wrong. I don't know, maybe from where I'm from, but when I hear that word, I'm like, he's not that he's very sober. He's very sober.
Yeah. Oh, he's very sober.
Yeah. Maybe I'm using it wrong, and I should say cracked.
You're definitely using it wrong. I don't
not cracked out, but I've heard cracked dev like many times, right?
When I hear cracked out, I just hear my Aunt Debbie's cracked out, like somewhere in Kensington, right?
Oh no.
Oh, I totally thought it was like, okay, these guys are just doing like meth or something.
Oh no.
But on a serious note. On a serious note, how do you guys add support to something like Alkane so quickly? Because I think you guys got it up there really quick.
Yeah, I mean, we were chatting with the guys, and we've been in Alkane's Discord, like I think first, second, third day, just around launch, and we got the docs. We translated them. They were in Chinese, in Mandarin to be precise, and we translated Mandarin docs and integrated fairly quickly, because on the token standard side, it's very similar to Rune. So like integrating the tokens for us, it's sort of like we had that experience. It was fairly quick and easy. Plus, when we were integrating, there was only one sole platform where you can trade Alkanes is ID Club. So it was fairly quick integration. But on that note, what happened, I think 3 or 4 days ago, Unisat announced that they're supporting Alkanes. So of course we're already working on that, and I think in the next couple of days we will add Unisat as well. But the most I wait for is, of course, Alkanes AMM, because with AMM we will be able to sell. And for me, it looks like, you know, the same path we had with runes. We also added buy at the beginning. We were working quite some time on sell. It was not so easy at the beginning, but now, you know, we know how to do it. So I believe once the AMM goes live, we will do the integration real quick, and we would have pretty much Alkanes with all of the tools you need. You go, you buy, you sell, you swap, you farm Ember points, and yeah.
Yeah,
Just need to get that release.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing the Alkanes Dex is around the corner. I heard they're like killing it on Signet. They're about to actually go mainnet for some of the internal uses. So we're going to see that soon. Then you guys going to wrap your, get wrap in there. And that's the best part about you guys. I hear Unisat's actually working on a Dex as well. So for Alkanes. So, but like, your liquidity is going to be fragmented. You're not going to know where you're getting the best price at. But if you come to something like Sats Terminal, you're 100% getting the best price. Because I had the same problem, because I noticed B when I was buying B the other day. B was actually cheaper on Unisat, and I already purchased it on ID Club. But if I would have went to Sats Terminal and you guys had Unisat already integrated, I would have gotten that cheaper B.
Yeah, and that's happening soon. So Unisat is in progress, and I think AMM will be also fairly quick, because the guys, supporters of the Alkanes protocol from Oil Wallet, or Oil Corp, excuse me, Oil Corp, they're moving quite fast. So shout out to Alec and the team.
Yeah. My last question for you, Stan, is, you get approached a lot by a lot of different projects and stuff. What has that been like? I know you've kind of expressed that you've had great experiences with like people like Jan, and, you talked about Robin just now, but like, do you feel like it's a great place to be in terms of builder ecosystem, or is it hard to get things buttoned up?
I think that, so Robin, Jan, definitely, there's so many great people actually in this space. It's incredible. Like even with you guys we met in Nashville, that was so nice. And I remember all of the other guys at the event. Everyone is like so much interested in building, like great people, knowledgeable. They understand what they're doing, why they're doing that. You don't feel that vibe that you're hanging out with a bunch of grifters that want to make a shitload of money and just scam their communities. It feels like people are like, they understand that they don't get that, mega hype and maybe that incredible growth that you have in some other ecosystems. But Bitcoin, maybe it's a little bit slow, but it's secure, and it's like forever. Like Ember is forever and Bitcoin is forever. What happens with other chains, who knows? Like they're always having a rotation. Like this year, all we hear about is Sui, but we'll see what happens in a year or 2 or 3. And Bitcoin is forever. And people that are building on Bitcoin, they're just amazing guys. We have incredible relationship with them. Like you mentioned, Jan, you mentioned Experts Wallet. I think they have like one of the best teams. Very, very nice, genuine people. I totally love to work with them. Then Robin, we met Robin in Vegas before he spoke on the main stage at the Bitcoin conference, so we went to listen to his speech, support him. I think it's great because we are trying to not to split that tiny little pie that we have right now. We are trying to grow together. We are trying to bring more utility, more use cases. Like with, for example, the new Liquidium platform, I think they're making a real breakthrough, an amazing breakthrough in Bitcoin DeFi. And it's just great to work with people, at the front run, the trendsetters. So I'm not sure if that was the question, but
no, that was.
I went too deep into this, but I
perfect,
think we are working with great guys, just amazing community.
You answered that perfectly. So that's kind of like on the builder side, right? That you work directly with for, it's kind of like handling business. I think that's one of the things you handle. Psyclops, on your side, it's kind of getting connected with these people for like spaces, community side and stuff. What have you experienced on that? Is it you have this experience from Cardano? Are you experiencing something similar? Is it different? If you could maybe break that down.
I mean, unlike other ecosystems, I think Bitcoin is very unique. It's like very welcoming to people, and I think a lot of it also just comes from like it is fortunate that we were in a down market when we started, because I think people just kind of there's an inherent trust you have for people who are just out there every day during a bad time. Like you just tend to trust them more. And then you know when the market kind of picks up or you have like a hot cycle, all these people just suddenly get in your DMs, and I think that's the difference from what we've seen, because everyone, it's like we know the projects that have been around the whole time, and it's just there's kind of like a mutual understanding, because like and it's not because we ever talked about the market being down. I think it's just like an unsaid thing. I think it's just the people who were here during that time just were really interested in building, and that's what I like about Bitcoin is like I think people are just genuinely kind of curious. Like even when I did cats, it's like people just love to make stuff, and like you just don't see that in other ecosystems. Usually if somebody wants to do like a little bit of dev work, they're like trying to charge you an arm and a leg, whereas like here it's like people just do it because they just like doing it. And I think that's like a huge difference. That's kind of why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin, because it's just kind of a community that's like here bad or good, and like they just care about like it's kind of like the tech. They just like building stuff, and like that those are the like that's kind of how I am. So it's like they're just more like interested in what they're doing, whether like the market is up or down, like even if a protocol's dead, it's like ARC20s, it's like there's not a lot of volume, but like we had a space with them with dot swap, and like they're just like building because they just like doing it, and it's like I think that's just really cool like to see.
100%. I think you both explained that perfectly, and that's one of the reasons why we're still here. Shizzy and I started this is where our content creation journey actually started, right? And we've been here since 2023. I will say that it's gotten better because the tribalism was definitely a lot stronger in 2023 to late 2023. But I love the direction it's going in. You're absolutely right. I think the one thing is they kind of check and make sure you're here for the right reasons, and then once they kind of validate that, they're like, okay, let's do this thing together. So I really love those answers there. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah, man. It was great having you guys today, man. We'd love to give you guys stage one last time and give you maybe some final words. Start where you stand.
Yeah, I just wanted to add like 2 cents on what Psyclops was saying. I think that's like so true, because throughout this like many months where we are in the space already, like we were meeting so many like interesting projects. The guys are doing like crazy interesting things, but what I feel like some of those products, they're amazing, but maybe they're a little bit too early. And what I think is that there's we see how many, maybe 20, 30, 40 Bitcoin companies that are building maybe 50 startups, but there is like about 10 times more, 500 dormant builders that have like crazy ideas, but the market is still not there. And I feel that we have to pave the way in some sort. We and other projects that have been a little bit more successful with fundraising, with getting traction, with getting their users, products, business models together, I think we are paving the way for those like 500 dormant builders. So like if you think in this way, it's extremely bullish. I believe that like Bitcoin DeFi is definitely the future, and I'm very happy that maybe we're lucky, maybe we're smart, maybe something else, but I'm happy that we are here, and I'm happy that we are building one of the legacy brands in Bitcoin DeFi space. And the farm member. That's it. I have to chill. Sorry.
Farm member. Absolutely awesome. Cyclops, any final words, buddy?
Like I know, I just think Bitcoin's is awesome, like melting pot, almost like kind of like the US of like people from different chains, just kind of like.
I didn't think about that. You're right, dude. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's kind of like where the tribalism was, kind of like Kings of New York back in the day. But like I think as we civilize, like it gets better. I just hope we come to like everybody agrees on a token standard at some point, because I think once once that happens, we're like going to the moon, and then it's either way, farm Amber because
There we
and-
go.
aggregate all.
And maybe even if everyone agrees on the token standard, please keep releasing, keep researching, because yeah, it's a non-stop process. You just if we stop, like, you know, there will be no movement speed.
We actually have a token standard here. It's called Wait, There's More. That's kind of our our token standard here. Is like as soon as we come to a conclusion of this is going to be it, but wait, there's more, and then we get Alkanes, and who knows what's next. But love having you guys here, and can't wait till next week. See you guys then.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Thanks for having us. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Absolutely awesome, man, having those guys every week. We're very lucky to have partners like we do, because these guys, you know, you guys can definitely take advantage of our partners right now, because you're actually getting to meet them face to face. On top of that, you can actually get free, potentially free stuff. Who knows what Amber is, but Amber is free right now by just going over there and trading for stuff you're already going to trade for anyway. It's stupid not to. Take advantage of it. Head over to Sats Terminal and use their aggregation decks, guys. It'll get you the cheapest prices 100% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't know why anybody wouldn't be like, you know, try to get as many Amber points as possible. It just, to me, it's a no-brainer. And
Yeah.
if you've been watching the show, you know what we're talking about, so we don't have to dive too much deeper into that. But yeah, any other topics you got, or does that wrap
That's
it up?
it. We're good to go. 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're good to go here. So
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, man. Well, first we want to thank you guys for supporting us. 341 of you guys hanging out with us and really just, you know, supporting us, right? Without you guys, we couldn't do what we love to do. And also without our partners, we couldn't do what we love to do as well. If you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate that. Sats Terminal is the aggregator DEX for the Bitcoin ecosystem. We just talked about that. If you are looking to swap for runes, make sure you head over to satsterminal.com. If you connect your wallet for the first time, you'll get 1,000 Amber points. Also, make sure you're participating in the Amber is Forever campaign as well. And then they also support Alkanes too, right? So if you're interested in swapping for Alkanes, head over there as well. They're going to find the most liquid, most you know, best priced token for you guys. So check that out. Earn your points, refer your friends, you'll earn more points there. Head over to satsterminal.com today. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet, some Bitcoin, and 6 Bitcoin blocks, and you start placing bets in their markets right away. You can place bets in their Blitz markets, which is a 10-minute market where you can pick Bitcoin, Solana, or BNB to either go up or down. You get that 10 minutes to lock in the price you want to go from, and then an additional 10 minutes to see if you're correct or incorrect there. There's going to be features in the future that allow you to create your own markets, and you can earn up to 1.5% of the total volume there. Head over to betbtc.win today, dive into their docs, join their Discord, and be a part of that community. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem, most specifically focusing on ordinals. Right now, you can actually jump your ordinals from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Ethereum if you're a part of the Taproot Wizard community there, because that's the first collection that they added there. But you're going to be able to do that with Base, Merlin, eventually Solana as well. And you're going to be able to use their AI agent Hustle to help you do that once they add the Bitcoin tech stack to that AI. But right now you can use Hustle to guide you through the jungles of Solana as a research assistant. You know, actually can do DeFi functions for you as well if you want. Swap, and they're going to be adding the conditional swaps coming up very soon, and that's going to be really exciting because you can actually, you know, try to tell Hustle to get a certain percentage for you, get enter exit through a certain percentage gain, that type of stuff. So it's gonna be really fun to use. You can do it right now for free, but eventually they're gonna have a business model with their token. So make sure you check it out now to see if this is something that might be for you. Lastly, don't forget they have a TGE for their Bitcoin rune that's going to be coming in September. You know, right now you can head over to OpenSea, participate in a pre-sale environment. If you head over there and search Emblem Founder Vault Keys, you can actually purchase the NFT in a pre-sale. Once they get close to the TGE, they'll give you instructions on how to get those Bitcoin runes into your Bitcoin wallet. So head over to emblem.vision, join their community as well. Awesome team there. And then Artura.finance is the leverage and perps DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to be launching very soon on Botonic's Bitcoin Layer 2, the Spider Chain. There's going to be some really cool co-promotions there. But then soon after that, they're going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin layer 2, which is backed by Binance Labs. The whole point of Artura, in my opinion, is that you're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin tokens like Dog Go to the Moon or Billion Dollar Cat. Let's say you got it, you didn't get in early on those. You can trade them on this platform. So it's going to be exciting. You're also going to have access to traditional tokens like Tau, XRP, Ethereum as well. If you're not a trader, you can participate by adding liquidity to their vaults. That helps the platform there. But make sure you join their Discord as well. They have some really cool traders in their community that can give you some tips to get started. Head over to artura.finance today and join their community as well. And then Fluid Tokens, the UTXO Wizard dev, started on Cardano and then continued building on Bitcoin, but they're building on both right now, right? So they're the first to offer retail staking vaults on Bitcoin layer 1. If you did stake your Dog Go to the Moon, make sure you claim that, because it's claimable now. You will get your original tokens that you staked and your reward all in one transaction. If you want to start a staking vault for your community, just make sure you have an established community. You can head over to their Discord right now. They have a team that's waiting to answer any of your questions. If you want to use their airdrop tool because you have a community that you need to airdrop runes to, head over to fluidtokens.com on the Bitcoin side, click airdrop, and then you can get started there. You can either airdrop with a CSV file, which you pre-make. It's like an Excel or Google Sheets, or you can do it manually, one by one. So it's very simple to use. On the Cardano side, if you want to participate in their Aquarium platform, you can earn Babel fees doing that. So head over to fluidtokens.com. Make sure to join their community as well via Discord, and they will get you guys hooked up. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet, right? These guys are actually partnered with Sats Terminal, so you can actually swap directly in the app on your phone for runes directly, Dog Go to the Moon. Or on the Cardano side, because they do support Cardano, you can swap for SNEC token. They have aggregators on both that they're partnered with. Now, if you have an iPhone, you got to head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android phone, you got to head over to Google Play, and you can get the app downloaded to your phone. Check it out. Let us know how you feel, and you can actually find OnChain Revolution directly on their app in the alpha section there, along with some other awesome YouTubers as well. So it's really cool. Head over to Tokyo.io to learn more today, and stay tuned because they do have some benefits if you're a token holder as well. Make sure you're following them on their X account. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin's strength with the power of AI with their Wizard AI 0.03, which can guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. The Wizard can actually help you stake, swap, and do DeFi functions, right? But if you want to stake and help secure the chain, you can head over to merlinchain.io and get over to their staking tab, and you can either select flexible, which is a day-to-day staking option where you earn 15% APR. You do have to wait 7 days if you want to withdraw your actual tokens, though. But it is a day-to-day program, the flexible. But then they have the bonded. That's a 6-month lock of the Merlin Chain tokens. You can earn 45% APR. In this system, you can actually withdraw your rewards on a day-to-day basis. So the Merlin Chain team has been doing huge things, partnered with the Wrapped Bitcoin DAO, one of 11, I believe, projects in the likes of Uniswap, MakerDAO, those big brands. So they're starting to really increase their brand strength at Merlin Chain. And they also got added to the Alpha Binance program and the Binance Perp. So a lot of us are kind of speculating what's coming next, and we're excited about that. Head over to merlinchain.io, learn more today. Lastly, don't forget about our integrated partners in Jungle, formerly Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, as well as their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker and their horse game called Bitcoin Derby. And Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal Marketplace. Just like Sats Terminal, they're aggregating, except for not tokens, they're aggregating ordinals. So they're going to be able to find the cheapest ordinals around for you guys. And they have amazing trader tools. So make sure you head over to Ordinal Hive as well. Thank you guys so much for checking out our partners. We really, really appreciate you guys.
Yup. Great job, man. If you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering space, please send them our website. We really feel like it help them get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys are sitting here and you're like, what the heck's an Alkane? Well, we have the perfect article for you. Just dropped yesterday. Check it all out here. Click it, and you guys can take a deep dive into exactly what Alkanes is and what we think they're going to be. Check it all out here. If you guys need a VPN, my personal favorite is NordVPN. I use it every single day. I really do, guys. I don't go to any website with my IP hanging out. You don't want that. I don't want that. Don't do it. You know, because you're actually giving your IP leads you to your personal address. I know when you guys sign into Amazon or Google, you get notifications on your phone saying, hey, this person, for me, it says, hey, this person from Philadelphia. I don't like that. I like when it says this person from Switzerland signed in, because I'm like, all right, cool. That's where I am to you guys. So definitely check out a VPN. And if there's a site that you want to check out and they're like, you can't use this because you're an American citizen, a VPN can get around that for you guys. So definitely check that out. And it's not your country stopping you from using that site. It's the site itself. So yeah, so use a VPN. And if you guys need merch for events or just kind of lounge around at home, we have some of the best merch in all of crypto. Check out our Shopify store, all done through a third party. We give them the logos that we like. And if you guys want us to add something, we can pretty much add anything that you guys want us to add. Just let us know. We can add it for you. But we got some of the best stuff here. Check it all out here at OnChainRevolution.io. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution, roll call, market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.